Hi, I'm Megan Alexander, and this is Middle East Tomorrow. 5 years ago, the U.S. brought leaders from Israel, Morocco, the United Arab Emirates, and Bahrain together to sign the Abraham Accords. That historic day ignited a cross-border movement of changemakers who are joining forces to reshape the region. Join me as I uncover the stories of the people transforming the Middle East today and tomorrow. Go to partners.foxnews.com/Met. 5 years ago, the U.S. brought leaders from Israel, Morocco, the United Arab Emirates, and Bahrain together to sign the Abraham Accords. I'm Megan Alexander, and this is Middle East Tomorrow. Go to partners.foxnews.com/Met.
I'm just letting everybody know we're on the doorstep of destiny. Oh, it's the team of the 21st century is who it is. Twice we're back through the doorstep of destiny. We're back, everybody. 6 in a row, I told you guys. We're back. You were saying something about best team in the NFL? Hats and t-shirt game for every, oh shoot! That's all right. Sorry, Greg, you have always supported Drake Maye, so I appreciate it. I implore you to put on the sunglasses, just like I am beloved in Kansas City, and join me in walking through the door of destiny. Finna be the greatest, that's my destiny. Welcome. Welcome to just a wonderful show. And thank you guys for being here. I really appreciate the lack of support that you've provided me for months, really. Including and up to picking Jarrett Stidham to beat.
Nick.
No, you actually have come through recently, so I really appreciate that. It's going to be a great show. It's just going to be a wonderful 2 weeks. Or a few years, to be honest with you.
You know what's crazy?
What?
I have some vacation time built up.
Oh.
that I might just have to burn between now and the Super Bowl.
You know who's beloved in Kansas City? This guy. Mm-hmm. You could do the same thing for all of New England, from the shore of Connecticut to the tip top of Maine.
Not interesting.
First hour of First Things First. I feel like dance. I feel great, bro. Today,
dancing.
The New England Patriots are on the doorstep of destiny. Called his own shot there.
Yeah.
Just unbelievable. Yeah. Meanwhile, Stafford's MVP-esque season ends in Seattle. What's next for him and the Rams? And finally, Sam Darnold shines. Is he done seeing ghosts? He's favored in the Super Bowl. Is pumpkin mode on the board? And who is going to believe in him for what Pringles calls the big game? Alongside Chris Broussard, I'm Kevin Wildes. Nick?
Yeah.
Dispatched of your Rams. I'm sorry about that.
You know, I've always had a soft spot in my heart for the Pacific Northwest.
That's not true.
Neither of you guys. Only his third team of the NFC this year.
It is true.
The Pacific Northwest.
It is nice up there.
Yeah, exactly. I know Vancouver. I know is a different country. Everybody says
awesome.
It's beautiful.
It is.
Vancouver
might be the prettiest city in North America.
That's what everybody says. That cool island that Bill Russell lived on.
Cool, yes.
Exactly. Mount Rainier.
Yeah, but Vancouver,
the Sky Needle. I'm just saying the region of the
Sky Needle.
The skyscrapers.
People throwing halibut.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot to love about
cloudiness.
I'm just saying. It really is.
Yeah. Something to be said for it.
Goodness. We are starting with the 12th Super Bowl appearance for the team of the century.
12. Wow.
This after back-to-back 4-win seasons. The Patriots win game number 17 this year in a game where only 17 points were scored. Here's Mike Vrabel in the locker room.
From the time that we started, you did everything that we asked you to do. Okay, we said everybody's journey to this league looks a little different. Just like everybody's journey to the Super Bowl looks a little different. Every single person has helped us get here, okay? But you got to celebrate tonight, and then tomorrow it's how are we going to win the next game? Yep. You understand me? How is this group going to find a way to win one more game? We're going to pack our up, okay? We're going to take our belief, we're going to take our identity, and we're going to go on the road.
No curfew in Denver, but everybody had to be on the bus by 8. Yeah. No curfew for old KW either. I was out late. I was out late hit the dance floor a little bit.
Did you?
Yeah, just a little bit. A little bit.
Oh, my.
Usually I interrupt you guys, ask some silly question, then I hit the trumpet, but you know what time it is. Let's just go. Let's just do it.
You are gonna
Let's just go. People are here to see the door.
Yeah.
People want to see the door of destiny.
Oh, God.
I feel good. You know what time it is, bro. Door of destiny. I told you I felt like dancing, bro. Wow. I've been feeling good.
Miles is gonna dance?
I told you I've been feeling alive.
Like, what?
I've been feeling great.
That's wild. That wild got skills.
I've been working on this since we beat the Bills.
What the?
Since we beat the Bills, I've been.
Where'd this come from?
It's been
Look at
happening.
Wilds.
It's been happening, bro.
Man.
I've been practicing. My. This one, watch this, bro.
I'm
you see me?
speechless. Oh my gosh.
You see me, bro.
What the?
Oh, you got. Oh, get that right now.
Oh,
Get that. You see that? You see me? I'm out here.
Wow.
Wild.
Thank
My
you.
man. I didn't know you had it in you.
I've been moving. I've been practicing since the Bills game.
Wow. That was impressive.
Thank you.
Fantastic, KW.
Thank you, guys.
I didn't know you had it in you.
Well, people didn't believe in the Patriots either, but here we are.
It's true.
What did you make of the
Man.
Patriots' run to the doorstep of destiny?
It's hard to be serious after that impressive display, but I will be all the same. It's an all-time turnaround. The discussion this offseason was whether or not they would make the playoffs. And they were a coin flip to make the playoffs.
It was like gutsy. You picked them.
I picked them, and it was, and it, but it, and that wasn't.
That was a gutsy
It wasn't like picking the Raiders to make the playoffs. No. It was a team that was Vegas odds were 50-50, yes or no to make the playoffs. They were a significant underdog to win their division, and they were 60-1 to win the conference. 60-1, and in this postseason, they have been favored but doubted in every playoff game. You know, and so not favored, so the majority of people seem to think they would win each game, but real reason to believe they might lose any one of them. And here's what I will say as a testament to what the 2025 New England Patriots are. They are a combination of every important component that any championship team typically needs to have. They have exquisite coaching. Mm-hmm. They have had, throughout the bulk of the season, even if not in the playoffs, high-level quarterback play.
Yes.
A legit defense.
Excellent.
And a little helping of schedule luck or luck along the way.
Lady luck.
Which, again, but that's a
You
part
need
of
that.
that's a part of everybody's
100%.
story. Like that is a part. That's not always a part of the story to a path to a championship, but very often there is a tuck rule or in the Seahawks case, a muffed punt by somebody else. There's some element of luck. And here is what I will say. We looked at the last 4 months moving forward. Those first three, Brou, excellent coaching, high-level quarterback play, and a legitimate defense should be in New England as long as Vrabel and Drake Maye are there. Yeah. So this is a team to be reckoned with over the next half decade or so.
Oh, you were right there.
No,
right.
Your dynasty stuff was ridiculous, and it
your
still
words,
is.
not mine.
But they are now, Brou, and I think you'll agree, moving forward, an A-list AFC team. When we talk about the Chiefs, the Ravens, and the Bills, you cannot talk about those teams and not include the Patriots in that group. You can't.
No question. And I want to give props to the Patriots, particularly these three groups. I'm piggybacking off you, Nick. The defense.
Unbelievable.
Right? The defense, I get it. You want to say they faced the backup quarterback yesterday. Okay. But Justin Herbert, C.J. Stroud, who rookie year was a very good quarterback, and still, we think he has potential. They have allowed, they're number one in points allowed, 8.7 per game in the playoffs. Number one in rush yards allowed, 71 yards per game. Number three in total yards allowed, 210. So the defense has been incredible, okay? Secondly, Mike Vrabel. You'd be hard-pressed to find a better coaching job. They're the first team ever to go 9-0 on the road in NFL history. In NFL history.
It's amazing.
So that is incredibly impressive.
And they got into it, too. They call themselves the Road Warriors.
Yeah.
And then Matt Collins did the bottles thing.
And that's somewhat of a credit to him because of just creating that, us against the world mentality and all that stuff. And no matter who you add in the offseason, Nick, which they added some good players, still, to take a team from 4 wins to the Super Bowl is incredible. You have no superstar receivers, no superstar running back. You had 2 Pro Bowlers, and you're in the Super Bowl. And then Drake Maye. Like, Nick, the Chargers, the 9th-ranked defense in the league. Mm-hmm. The Texans, the 2nd-ranked defense in the league. Denver, 3rd-ranked defense in the league in terms of points allowed. And he goes through them. I get it. His stats aren't pretty, and he hasn't lit everything on fire, but he has done what – it's about winning in the postseason. Nobody really cares about what your stats are as a quarterback.
I got nervous that you're going to be on the other side of that, Brou. So I feel good.
No. I mean, it's about winning, and he's made the winning plays. I'll get into that a little later. But those 3 groups in all the Patriots, but those 3 groups in particular, hats off.
It's been a great playoff run for me. 3 wins. Door Destiny counts as win number 4. I did, however, take a loss. And it's a loss that we've seen before. Iron sharpens iron. I might have to abandon iron sharpens iron as my trademark. And we showed this graphic, I think, maybe a month ago. Easiest schedule, 13-win teams since the merger. The 99 Rams, easy schedule. They won the Super Bowl. The 72 Dolphins, easy schedule, won the Super Bowl. And we used to have question marks there. But now the 25 Patriots, easy schedule in the Super Bowl. And we kick this around a lot, and it's not necessarily the most concrete analysis. At the same time, I think we all agree that it's true, because we used to talk about the Chiefs like this. Winning is a skill, and learning to win is a skill. And being ahead and be like, all right, now we have to salt away this win just around the margins. And there was a play, I didn't pull it up, Nick, but I'm sure Nick is going to love this play. So I'm going out of limb, so I hope you love it. Right before the Christian Gonzalez interception, when Sean Payton makes a substitution, and then Mike Vrabel takes his jolly old time getting our guys on, and the play clock's down to 2 seconds. All of a sudden, things are hurried up. Stidham throws the interception. That's the game over. Yep. Now, looking at it through one lens is, backup quarterback. He wanted to take a shot. Things were getting desperate. Another way to look at it is, we have been doing that. You made a mistake. We saw the margin. Now you're hurried up, and it's something that we learned through winning.
I've been in nerd coaching love with Mike Vrabel ever since he did the silly delay of game thing when he was the Titans coach against the Patriots in the 2019 playoffs. Because there used to be a loophole in the rule book. If there were more than 5 minutes left in the fourth quarter and the clock was running and you committed a penalty, the clock kept running when they redid the down. And so he, in that playoff game, burnt 90 seconds by continually taking delay of games. Right. And then the NFL had to change the rules. Yeah, and those little small angles, margins, he has been so good at and figuring out, they've tweaked about when you sub, we get to sub. How can we exploit that as far as possible? Yep. Those things matter. I also want to say one other thing to you, KW, because, and I should have had Hubs pull this tweet, and I didn't. My apologies. But 3 years ago, when I got the Never a Doubt tattoo, about 30 minutes after the Chiefs won the Super Bowl, Patrick Mahomes, who never tweets, tweeted out a picture of himself holding both trophies and just captioned it, Never a Doubt.
Yeah, that was sick.
And you wrote, man, and Mac Jones never followed me back on Twitter or something.
Does follow me now, so thank you.
But it was a nice homage from my friend Patrick. The league, about 30 minutes after the Patriots made the Super Bowl, Brou, the NFL tweeted out this, which can only be read as an homage to our guy KW.
Now it's
on
a
the
mirror, not a door.
Of a
Maybe it's a
new
mirror
dynasty.
door,
I
like
don't
in a
know, but
hotel or
I
something?
know that is from the
It's
NFL's Twitter
definitely a
account.
door.
It's a door, but with a mirror. It's Brady. It's Drake Maye. Whatever it is,
Just loved it.
that's your IP.
Wow.
Now the NFL's partner, so I assume you're going to let them, fair use it.
Of course.
Not going to, file a
that's
lawsuit.
no
But
no.
that's pretty sick,
Quick
KW.
cease and desist,
So
but that's it.
I'm happy for you.
From my breakdance and my hairs.
And this 3:15 Monday is probably where my happiness for you ends, but I want you to know it exists.
Why don't we just make it through the whole A block?
We'll see.
Gentlemen, can you play us off? Sorry, I feel this is just
You gonna dance? Or?
hurt my back a little bit. Vertebra. Let's dig in on the game a little bit. It wasn't the prettiest in the world. Drake threw the ball for only 86 yards. Stidham threw a backwards pass. There were 3 missed field goals, and by the end of the game, it was just like a slip and slide out there. Let's take a listen to Drake Maye.
Props to this team, man. What effort out there tonight. We're going to the Super Bowl. That sounds pretty good. That sounds pretty cool. So just proud of this team, proud of the defense. We didn't play our best ball in the first half, and the second half came out and just battling the elements, snow and the elements, and it was a gritty win, and our defense, they stepped up. It was fun to watch.
Brou, what do you think the key to the Patriots win was?
I got 3 keys. First is Drake Maye.
Great.
Nick, he corrected the problems that he was having in the first 2 playoff games, which was turnovers. In the snow and under the duress of playing the best pass rush in the league. He got sacked 5 times, didn't fumble. We saw a lot of his fumbles were sacked, getting hit by the defenders. And so I thought that was impressive. He obviously didn't throw the ball very well, but he used his legs. His legs were critical. First, the touchdown run. I think obviously we all said that. He just runs in for the touchdown. Then he seals the game with this is when he called his own.
No, this is.
This is the second.
This is
This is the 28-yard run. Right,
Yeah.
28-yard run, longest run of the day by far of any rusher, and that set him up for the game-winning field goal. And then, of course, he calls his own shot here and tells nobody he's going to roll out and bootleg and gets the first down that ends the game. So he did it with his legs. He needed to not make mistakes, which he didn't do. And in that weather and against that defense, that's tough to do. And we saw what turned the game. The second thing was a mistake by Jarrett Stidham. And so Jarrett Stidham, has the fumble. That sets you guys up at the 12-yard line. You push it in. And then the third thing, Nick, look, I think Sean Payton made a mistake. I know people will say, well, it's in hindsight. But I'm thinking at that point, second quarter, you're up 7-0. You already saw, New England's not moving the ball against us. I think you had 2 first downs at that point.
1 first down.
1 first down at that point. You knew it. You should have known this is going to be a low-scoring game. I don't have my starting quarterback. And to that point, Stidham had looked pretty good, but still, it's not my starting quarterback.
Yep.
Points should be at a premium. He should have taken that field goal.
It's going to start snowing.
He didn't know how much, but still, you knew it was going to start. And I don't think he could have. I don't know if anybody could have predicted that type of weather. You knew it was going to get worse. We knew that. But I don't know if he thought it was going to get that bad. But anyway, he should have kicked the field goal. It would have been 10-0. And presume you couldn't score after the snow started coming. Neither team could do anything offensively. So good chance it would have been 10-10 instead of, being down.
So we're gonna do more on the 4th down decision later. I do just a little, preview of that conversation. It's Sean Payton's job to know more about the weather than it is you or me. And he has access to all the possible information. And so I agree. I think that was a mistake. I obviously am not going to kill Drake Maye for his performance, but it is performances like this when you always throw at me. You're not a quarterback wins guy. It's these types of wins that make it tough, like where I'm not a binary quarterback wins guy, because I think Drake Maye ran the ball well. I think his throwing was a big problem for them, and that was well before the weather got bad. It was perfect conditions. His first pass of the game, Hufanga got 2 hands on it. So I thought Drake Maye avoided egregious mistake, but I don't think for me, he would not have been one of the 3 or 4 primary reasons they won that game. But the key to the Patriots win was what Mike Vrabel said, and I think you'll like this, KW, was goal number 1 of the Patriots once he got there. Avoid bad football.
Yeah.
That he talked about, it's an old cliche, but more teams lose games than teams win them. That what we need to do is remove the bad football and let the other team beat themselves. And that's what Denver did. It was the head coach, I think, outsmarted himself on the 4th down. They had, after blowing that 4th down, they still are up 7-0. The Patriots are still not moving the ball, and Stidham tries to do too much. Just go down, bro. Like, you don't, at any point you can go down. And that's extra egregious, and I'm not trying to kill Stidham, but all week we heard about how Stiddy is a Pro Bowler. That it's extra egregious because there is not a huge difference on 3rd and 4 from your own 20 on taking a sack and throwing it away. You're punting anyway. Like, that's the type of play sometimes you make if the sack's going to take you out of field goal range. And you're like, oh man, I can't lose yards, and then it turns into a disaster. There's no difference between him taking a sack and throwing an incompletion. I mean, there is like 8 yards, but you're punting on the next play anyway. And then your point, Brou, to your point, KW, the pick. Like, that, I understand it, we say no one was going to score any points in the snow, but the Patriots got a field goal in the snow going that direction. It seemed like no one was going to score in the snow going the other way. The Broncos in the 3rd quarter, Patriots in the 4th quarter. We're just not going to. The game wasn't over. And you felt better about Lutz's chance of kicking a game-tying field goal once you saw his previous field goal had been blocked.
Right.
You know what I like? It's like, oh, he didn't duck hook that or whatever. It got blocked. And so
he just threw that. I mean, I don't know if he did.
The Patriots
He wanted to throw it.
No, he did.
From the previous one, somebody was open.
Yes.
I felt like he's like, you know what? If we're gonna lose,
it was a terrible pass.
I'm gonna lose.
But there was KW. There's a lot of it's 2nd down. There's over 2 minutes left.
They're not moving the ball. I thought like he wanted to take a shot.
He did.
And there's a little bit of like, you know what? Am I gonna like tell my grandkids like, well, like we tried to get, I did a 2-yard scramble. You mentioned the blocked kick, and I pulled this video. Dust, you can run it whenever. Mike Vrabel in his post-game interviews, or like kind of
it still almost went
comments to the team. He's always like, this takes everybody. He takes the players, the coaches, the staff, and it almost feels like a platitude. It's like, it feels very, for like elementary school, like we're all together, we can all do it. Right. But Leonard Taylor III is up from the practice squad, was released by the Jets earlier this year, and he saves the season. If that went into overtime, who knows what happens?
Right.
So someone had to have their eyes on Leonard Taylor III, take him from the Jets. Someone had to tell him, in obviously his own, dedication. Hey, you're on the practice squad, but you never know. People say that, but to actually have it happen and make one of the key plays in the AFC Championship, again, speaks to Vrabel being excellent around the edges, and its coaches, its staff, its scouting.
And you saw what Will Lutz said about that kick, right?
Oh, yeah.
The other thing is that, and he's right when you look at it on the replay. Usually the snap is 8 yards back. That was 7. And he said, we got it screwed up because of the snow.
Oh, really?
And like the reason you go as far back as you do is it gives you more time to clear the line of scrimmage. Wow. No, it is these tiny margins where, and that, whether it is, special teams, which might have flipped both of the last 2 Rams-Seahawks games, these moments, and it is I don't want to sound like I'm doing a commercial for the league, but it is what makes, in my opinion, the NFL the best team sport there is, because it is, there is an element of the attention to detail, the every last guy that can flip entire, legacies, entire seasons, entire championships.
Loved it. All right, let's head to Seattle, where Sam Darnold, quite frankly, played the game of his life. Another offensive explosion in this third matchup between these two teams. 58 combined points. Both quarterbacks threw 3 touchdowns. Here's Sam postgame.
It's amazing to be able to do it with these guys, though, in this locker room, with this coaching staff. That's why it means the world to me.
How do you describe the journey it took to get here, Sam?
Oh, I haven't really thought about that much, Sam, to be honest with you. But, no, it's just, I take it one day at a time. That's it. One day at a time, every single day.
Oh, tail of the tape between the two quarterbacks. Stafford, 63%. Darnold completes 70%. Both guys go for almost 350. Stafford, 374. Just an excellent game. Passer rate. Look at the passer rate. I didn't realize that.
And it's the best in a playoff game since the 13 seconds game for combined between two. And Dust, you could just go to my next.
And Darnold's Mahomes here.
Right.
Yeah, that's right. You could just go to the 300 plus. So that's Stafford yesterday, third quarterback ever with 350, 3 touchdowns, no turnovers, and a playoff loss. And as far as 300 passing yards, 3 touchdowns, 0 turnovers in the history of the NFL for both quarterbacks to do it, it's those 2 games. And listen, Brou, Darnold doing, and I wanted to show those because I don't think it's fair to frame it as if Stafford came up short. I don't think he did. I thought Stafford played great, and this is, I guess, the other side of quarterback wins, quarterback losses. I think Matt Stafford was exceptional in that game, and Darnold was better. And that to me is I can't believe I'm saying those words. I can't believe that Sam Darnold outplayed Matt Stafford in the NFC Championship game. And it's not because Stafford just had a dog of a game. You know what I mean? Stafford had 3 picks. The Seahawks defense got to him, and Darnold outplayed him by just playing a clean game. No, it was like throw for throw, possession for possession. I'm going to outduel you. Yeah. I did not think that was on the board of possible outcomes. And it does make you wonder, Brou, how many quarterbacks that we have just said and that are long gone from the NFL were just busts, were just ruined by their drafting franchise and never got this type of shot at reinvention. Because Sam Darnold was as clear-cut to me as doesn't have it, was, Collins believed in him forever. Nobody else did. And you watch him last night and it's like, this guy can do basically everything. Yeah. It's unbelievable. And so credit to him, man. It's a career reinvention.
I agree. I didn't think him outplaying Stafford or even playing equal to Stafford was on the board. Now, I picked Seattle, so I thought they would win. But I thought best case scenario, Darnold is solid, plays well.
Yes.
Maybe 2 touchdowns, 250 yards, something like that. And the defense of Seattle, maybe special teams, which did play a factor for the Rams, messes up, and Seattle wins. I felt confident they would win, but I did not think he could outplay Stafford. And some might say, well, it was really a draw, because I agree, Stafford was excellent. You can't fault him at all, except here's the difference. And this is where Darnold outplayed him on 3rd and 4th down. Darnold 6 for 9, 102 yards. Stafford 0 for 7. That's the first game in Stafford's career, which is what, 17 years, something like that he has not completed a pass on 3rd or 4th down.
I didn't.
Yeah, that was the difference. Yep. And so, to your point, Nick, about quarterbacks, and look, obviously Mahomes is great in his own right. It certainly helped going to Andy Reid. Obviously, Brady could have really been never even got a chance. Yeah. We wouldn't even know about Tom Brady. I mean, there are so many great You're right, who your coach, your offensive coordinator, your franchise, and the Jets, I believe their fans, or at least a lot of them, are happy for Darnold. But you do have to be like, my goodness, we had a Super Bowl level quarterback and we didn't know what to do with him. They didn't know what to do with him. Now, some quarterbacks develop at a different rate.
Yep.
And I do think it's important for franchises like, this year it's Mendoza. Whoever the best couple of quarterbacks are in the draft, they're going to get drafted fairly high. I think it's important not to force them in if they're not ready. If they're ready, fine. But if they are not, there's nothing wrong with sitting for a year or two. Now, 6 years, it shouldn't take that long. It didn't work out earlier in New York, and then he probably lost some confidence. He was backing up.
Remember, he showed flashes in Carolina.
That's what I was going to say. It seems.
Yeah, Baker wasn't playing well, and then they put in Darnold.
It seems like every franchise that he's been with, except for the Jets, got more out of him or believed in him more. I don't want to say believed in him more, but
got a little more out of him.
Right, Carolina, there was a month at least where it's like, oh, that's the guy that Colin's always talking about. San Francisco, again, maybe it's just pablum, but Kyle Shanahan was adamant. We believe in this guy. And then Minnesota, when he gets the chance, listen, I'm not going to act like we haven't talked about pumpkin mode and all this stuff. He was bad at the end of that season in those 2 games. But he was excellent in the 16 games leading up to it, which is KW's
14 wins, 4,000 yards. There's nothing to shake a stick at.
And then obviously this year with Seattle, which I know this is maybe the longest A block in the history of sports TV, so we probably should break. But, Brou, you and I can take solace in one thing today. If KW had truly had the courage of his convictions,
I agree.
He would have nailed both 60-1 long shot Super Bowl exacta. Because we begged you to be the Sam Darnold guy.
That's true.
And you were like, I don't know if I want to be the Sam. 14 wins, 4,000 yards. You'd walk up to it and then retreat backwards.
You were like,
and then all year long, you were holding your nose defending Nick Sirianni and that Eagles offense while Sam Darnold was cooking. You could have had this. You could have had both sides of it. So that is a little solace for us today.
That being said, come Super Bowl, stage is going to be too big.
Pumpkin Moses.
That's our Patriots defense. Look at run the numbers. This Broncos loss on Sean Payton. That's next.
Look at KW.
I'm out here doing it.
The moves are astounding.
Oh, thank you.
I did not know you had that in you.
Nearly home. Isn't home where we all want to be? Reba here for Realtor.com, the pros' #1 most trusted app. Finding a home is like dating. You're not just looking for a place to live, you're searching for the one. That's where Realtor.com comes in. Like any good matchmaker, they know exactly where to look. With over 500,000 new real listings straight from the pros every month, you could find your perfect match today. Ranch style with a pool, barn dominium with an in-law suite? Realtor.com's got 'em. Modern craftsman with a big yard and a treehouse out back? Realtor.com will have you saying, yep, that's the one. No more swiping. It's time to start finding. Download the Realtor.com app today, 'cause you're nearly home. Make it real with Realtor.com.
Pros #1 most trusted app based on August 2024 proprietary survey. Over 500,000 new listings every month based on average new for sale and rental listings. February 2024 through January 2025.
The road to 1 billion views. Oh, Gianna, we're at 7.3. Good money.
$500,000 a day.
Like Gianna's going to be with us.
Fantastic.
Or else Gianna out of the job.
For the long run.
And check out the podcast. How's the podcast doing? Gianna just put up a #1 finger. #1 in the world. Thanks,
That was
Gianna.
not the fingers.
Oh, sorry. I thought it was. I thought that was weird. Head back to Denver where the Broncos have a chance to go up 10-0 in the second with a short field goal, but Sean Payton opts to go for it.
And throw a pass.
On 4th and 1, and the passing play falls apart. Denver never got into the red zone again. Here's Sean Payton. Take a listen.
I just felt like, man, we had momentum to get up 14. I felt like we had a good call. And where were we at yard line wise there? Yeah, I think the feeling was, man, let's Let's be aggressive.
What about those 2
So
weeks?
I've got So I have a lot of thoughts here. So I think 4th and goal from the 1, in almost every instance there is, except for like down 2 with 5 seconds left, is a must go for it. Like where to get the yard, getting the first down means you get the touchdown. That is so different than needing 1 yard, and if you get it, you still have 13 more yards to get. And because of that, and because of this graphic that showed you what the Patriots offense had done up to that point, 12 plays, 12 yards, and because you were at home with a backup quarterback, and because I would assume Sean Payton, who is brilliant enough to devise his own quarterback algorithm for who to draft and is never shy and has been correct most of the time in calling his own shot about how cutting edge they are, he has access to the Doppler radar, and you had to know it was on the board that the weather was going to get bad. I think not kicking a field goal there, and this is a first guess, you can ask Danny Parkins about it when he's out here later, he's sitting next to me, was crazy. And it was, I want to reiterate the point I was making in the beginning about being 13 yards away even if you get it. I think a field goal wouldn't have been that much worse. Let me rephrase it. I'm not certain picking up 1 yard there and getting 1st and 10 from the 13 is definitively better than a field goal, because then it gives your young or your backup quarterback more opportunities for catastrophic red zone turnover, which we learned later in the game he was going to be flirting with. And the opportunity to go up 10 points and put even more pressure on New England, I think was valuable. And I certainly don't think if you're going to go for it, it can be a bootleg as opposed to finding a way to try to power for 1 yard. So in real time, I hated it. I'm not going to say this is why they lost, because we don't know how the game would have played out after that. And we don't know if the guy would have made it. Maybe they still would have got it. I don't know. But I think it was a mistake.
Yeah, I agree. I think it was a big mistake. And I think, we saw a field goal, a decision not to go for the field goal by Sean McVay in the second game has something to do with that. We'll talk about that as well. I think coaches have gone, like the pendulum has swung a little too far the other way. Yeah. Initially, it was like just kind of the new, young analytics guys who were going for it on 4th down. It seemed crazy. The more mature guys were staying pat with tradition. And now it's almost like teams don't think 3 points is valuable. And I thought, Nick, at one point a few years ago, it was like, we're playing Patrick Mahomes. Threes aren't going to be enough. That's one thing. But now it's gotten to that point in almost every situation, no matter who the opposing quarterback is, 3 points is valuable, especially in playoff games. And I get it. He didn't know. I'm sure he knew the weather was going to get worse. He probably didn't know how bad. But that's his job to know that. But you had ample evidence that we are shutting them down. We got arguably the best defense in the league. Let's trust it. And he didn't do that. And I think it was huge because once the snow really got bad, no offense was really moving the football.
I think he was scared of Drake Maye. That's the only thing I can come up with. Everybody knew it was going to be, weather was going to come in, and he was thinking, 10 points against one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Not enough. If you truly have that great defense, if you've told that you've got this great home field advantage, the crowd is loud, you were telling people publicly and privately that you were going to win the game, you saw Drake Maye and Josh McDaniels' offense, you're like, 10's not enough. We need 14. Here's the other thing he said, and this is a shout out to the Patriots defense. Can you pull that Wickersham quote panel? Because he took a timeout and he doubted himself. Yeah. So Seth wrote a big article on just this play, and I'll just start it and Dusty can throw up the quote panel. I wish I'd stay with the initial play call, Payton said shortly after leaving the stadium. The look they showed on film and the look we saw wasn't the look we got. So he got tricked too.
Yeah.
So he didn't know the weather. I think he was scared of Drake Maye, and he got tricked.
Can I say something about the scared of Drake Maye piece?
Sure.
One of the big criticisms, and I think it's typically erroneous, that doesn't really understand how a lot of the modern analytics models work, is people just throw out there, well, it doesn't take into consideration game flow at all. And a lot of the modern analytics models absolutely do take into consideration who you're playing, what's happened already, all of that. It's built in. If going into the game, Sean Payton, because I don't think this was an analytics decision. I think this was a Sean Payton. I don't think he had someone in his ear saying go or not. I think Sean Payton is making that call. If going into the game, Sean Payton had determined, if we're inside the red zone and we have 4th and 1 or shorter, we're going for it, I think that's totally reasonable that that's the approach. Because other teams got a great quarterback. But at that moment in that game, the Patriots didn't have a great quarterback. And not adjusting to the reality on the ground that the Patriots offense had just completed as bad of a quarter of football as any team had played in the league all year.
But
12 plays for 12 yards.
That was going to stay?
I think he thought he was going to continue.
I mean, if it didn't,
that's what I mean, but he was scared. I'm saying he was scared.
And what I'm saying is that's a coaching failure to rely on your priors that way, to not be able to adjust on the fly to, man, I thought that we were going to have to get 7s instead of 3s every time. Turns out that we might not have to. And by the way, and I'm not trying to turn this into a Drake Maye thing, like they got their one touchdown on a drive that started at the 11.
They didn't move the ball really the whole time.
There was one drive all game where the Patriots moved the ball, and they got 3 out of it. Like, if he really did decide in this game, I'm going to trust Jared Stidham and our offense over our defense, that's a huge error. That's a huge error. I
always look at 2-score lead.
Yeah.
That would have been a 2-score lead. That's huge to me. 2-possession lead. You know what I mean? Because even if you we don't want to settle for 3, you're up 2 possessions. They have to have 2 possessions to tie you. So I just think that's huge, and you need to take that into consideration.
A field goal is way more valuable when you're up 7 than when you're up 3. Is what you're saying.
Yes,
if they had been up 3,
it's a whole
and the field goals put you up 6, that feels very different than a field goal when you're up 7 to put you up 10.
All right, let's head back to Seattle. Rams bid for a 3rd Super Bowl appearance for McVay, 2nd for Stafford, and 1st for Davante Adams. Comes up short. Take a listen to Davante postgame.
Heartbreak. It's tough. It's tough to talk, honestly. I'm proud of the way the guys fought today.
Without being a player.
I thought that was good emotional sound, but now I'm really bummed out.
Yeah.
What's the number one reason the Rams lost, bro?
Nick just said Davante's played in more conference championships than any player
without making the Super Bowl. I believe so. Yeah,
really?
He's now 0 for 5, and Josh can check me on that. I believe that's the case. Yeah.
Look, in a game where both quarterbacks were excellent, okay, in a game or a series where the teams are so evenly matched that in 3 games, and one of them went to overtime, 3 points separated the teams. 3 points.
Yep.
So these teams are evenly matched. You play the game tomorrow, it might be a different outcome, right? I hate to kind of put it on the fumbled punt return.
Wasn't great.
That was the game. To me, that was the game. And look, I said Josh Allen had to wear the loss against, Denver. C.J. Stroud had to wear that loss against you guys. This was the game. This is when, because he just kind of stumbled. It's unfortunate, but he just, I don't know if he got intimidated because the defender was so close, but he stumbled. And Darnold, of course, throws a touchdown on the very next play.
And he had already muffed the punt.
Yes, he had already dove on and saved. But that's when Seattle took control. I get that they were leading 17-13, but that is when it was like, oh, they got control of the game.
Yep.
Yes.
And from that point on, the Rams were playing catch up. That was it. Now, it could have flipped the other way to where the Woolen, the defensive back for the Seahawks, who had the unsportsmanlike conduct, which was terrible, maybe in a different circumstance, that could have cost it. But when teams are this close, when both quarterbacks are cooking and the defense cannot stop them. Because a lot of people are saying, oh, Seattle's defense. I've seen a lot of pundits say it was the defense or not Seattle, the Rams defense.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, look at these numbers. Because Seattle's vaunted defense wasn't getting it done either. The Rams had outplayed Seattle's offense in everything. Yeah. They had more first downs, everything, more yards per play. Ran the ball better, passed the ball better as far as yards per attempt. And so I get that their defense couldn't stop Sam Darnold in Seattle, but Seattle's defense couldn't stop the Rams. It came down to that one play, and that's when the Seahawks took control.
I think that is fair. That being said, and it feels like it's open season on the Rams special teams.
It's been bad. And every loss just about, it's
you know
been
what?
Missed field goals, whatever.
If your defense falls off a cliff, then you open yourselves up to little mistakes by your special teams being catastrophic. Because before Thanksgiving, we were like, hold on, is this Rams team like good at everything besides special teams? And then after Thanksgiving, they went from first in points to 25th, 6th to 26 in yards, big plays, 4th to last. They fell off. And I know that
they did.
I think when you allow Seattle to score 31 points, you are walking a tightrope. You need great games from everybody, rather than just, hey, we shut down Sam Darnold. And they've been flirting with this for a while.
Listen, that's fair. What's also, I think, fair and accurate is, to Brou's point, these teams played 3 times, and the 2 games Seattle won, there was catastrophic special teams error by the Rams in both. The first one was the missed kick coverage lanes on the Rashid Shaheed punt return that flipped that game, and then this one where you fumble it. And by the way, that has been the only thing that Sean McVay, some game management stuff, but his whole tenure with the Rams, they've been bad at special teams. So I don't know why. I just know that by Bru's favorite stat, EPA, like the Rams over the since McVay's been there, have been the worst special teams team in the league by a lot. And well, here's what's extra weird. Second worst has been the Packers, and it's those 2 by a lot, and that's McVay's guy. Like something about I don't know why maybe they don't focus on it. Maybe it's not. Maybe they spend all their time doing other stuff. I'm not sure. So I think that's fair. But I want to flip it a bit from a negative to a positive. Sure. Because despite all that, I thought the Rams were going to win, and I thought the Rams were going to win because after the Woolen taunting, they got a 1-play touchdown as well. To Puka. And then they had a nice, long, methodical drive. It's like Stafford's going to punch it in, and Darnold's going to be down 3, and we'll see what happens. And the Los Angeles Rams, with, I believe, the MVP at quarterback, a future first-ballot Hall of Famer probably, and Devontae Adams is one receiver, and Puka Nacua is the other receiver, their 2 biggest passes of the year went to Terrence Ferguson and Kenneth Mumpfield. Because the Seahawks defense said, we're not going to let the other 2 guys beat us.
Exactly.
And I think that is really spectacular.
Yep.
That the Seahawks defense said, okay, we know what your number 1 option is. We know what your number 2 option is. We know your number 3 option is probably either your tight end or your running back. And somehow we're going to make it so you are throwing the biggest passes of your season. And I'm not taking shots at Terrence Ferguson and Kenneth Mumpfield, but it's those guys are deep on the receiver depth chart. Between them, they had 22 catches this season.
Mm-hmm. They know they could single cover them. You saw they doubled, like you said, the stars. And you also know Stafford's not a runner. that helps.
Yes.
Because you don't have to have as many people rushing.
Right.
You know he's not going to run.
The one fourth down he picked up was running the ball, and it was stunning that he did it. Listen, today is not.
I didn't say anything, dude.
KW.
But it is a good point that you
Stafford
make that in the MVP conversation, one guy scored a touchdown and salted the game away, and the other guy went 0 for 9 on third and fourth.
This is where the quarterback win stuff's going to kill me.
Down. He did have
one quarterback won the game in Denver, and the other one was doing fantasy football inside.
Do you think Stafford could have won the game if his defense would have held the Seahawks to 7 points?
In the snow, I don't know. He can't run the ball and he can't throw.
Had we seen him in the snow last year in the playoffs, did they score more than 7?
It's a good question. I saw him lose.
Yeah, because
I saw him lose.
KW.
That's a great answer. I saw him drop the ball and
KW, he
lose to the
threw for
Eagles.
375, 3 touchdowns. I understand. This is where the quarterback win stuff gets bad.
I agree. Maybe he's better. We'll see you in the Super Bowl. Weird, most wonderful of the weekend. I mean, Drake Maye's made winning plays.
Nearly home. Isn't home where we all want to be? Reba here for Realtor.com, the pro's #1 most trusted app. If you're hearing me, I'm going to assume you're awake. And if you aren't, because while you're snoozing, someone else might be finding your dream home. That's where Realtor.com comes in. With over 500,000 new real listings straight from the pros every month, that's a lot of chances to find the place you've been dreaming of. Whether you're searching for a 2-story mid-century with a pool or a little extra space with a spa-inspired bathroom, Realtor.com can help you find it today. So quit hitting that snooze button. Realtor.com isn't sleeping on finding your dream home, and neither should you. Download the Realtor.com app today, 'cause you're nearly home. Make it real with Realtor.com.
Pro's #1 most trusted app based on August 2024 proprietary survey. Over 500,000 new listings every month based on average new for sale and rental listings. February 2024 through January 2025.
Well, we thought the Steelers might get a young up-and-coming coach to start a fresh rebuild. Wrong. Steelers hiring former Cowboys and Packers coach Mike McCarthy, Art Rooney the third. I'm getting my Rooneys confused. Art Rooney the third, citing McCarthy's winning track record and proven track record of developing top-flight quarterbacks. Do you like this hire?
Not at all. And it's nothing against Mike McCarthy, who has been a very good coach. We know he won the Super Bowl with the Packers. And he got the job done with the Cowboys as far as regular season game wins. But what are the Steelers doing? They interviewed Brian Flores and Anthony. I think in any of those guys, Weaver would have been better because it's a young coach that you think could be our guy for the next 15 years. That's not going to be McCarthy. And Nick, this makes me feel like they are like, we can win it next year. And you're right. Everybody thinks, okay, are they bringing back Aaron Rodgers? Let's say that happens. You might win 8 to 10 games.
That's a win in Pittsburgh.
Well, they would have absolutely no chance of getting to the Super Bowl. None.
I don't know if that's their goal.
This is ridiculous.
Well, it also reminds you that they didn't fire Tomlin.
Yeah, no, because this is the equivalent of keeping him there.
Tomlin walked away. Yeah. They didn't fire him. And this is, to me, confirmation that had he not walked away, they were not going to fire him.
No.
So can I present the pro-Mike McCarthy case just for a moment?
Sure.
Listen, McCarthy, Sean Payton, John Harbaugh, Mike Tomlin. All contemporary coaches, all who have won 1 Super Bowl. Tomlin, obviously, the only one that have been to 2. All had Hall of Fame quarterbacks, right? I know Harbaugh didn't win his Super Bowl with his Hall of Fame quarterback. He won his but Big Ben, Breeze, Aaron Rodgers, and then obviously Harbaugh had Lamar. Show their resumes, because it certainly feels like McCarthy's got way worse PR than these other guys. The wins again, their winning percentage, he has the worst, but barely. The playoff wins, he's second best to John Harbaugh. They've all won 1 Super Bowl.
This is a good argument.
And people are like, well, McCarthy had Aaron Rodgers. The other guys, again, had Drew Brees, Big Ben, and Lamar. And again, Harbaugh didn't win his with Lamar, which complicates it a bit, I understand. But you could say he underachieved with Lamar, overachieved Flacco. Whatever it is, Sean Payton was the hottest candidate out there when he was gone. People are talking about Mike Tomlin. He's going to go to TV, but then he's going to have the pick of any jobs. I've said that I want him to potentially be the guy that takes over for Andy in a few years when Andy retires. John Harbaugh just got $100 million to remake the Giants. So for some reason or another, and I think because there was game management issues and because I think when he was coaching Rodgers probably was considered so otherworldly talented that some of the playoff failures didn't stick to him, so they stuck to the coach.
Yeah, it's like Lamar and Harbaugh.
But
similar.
Except I think the playoff failures stick to Lamar more than they did early with
Rodgers?
Yeah, with Rodgers. When Rodgers lost playoff games with Mike McCarthy, it was Mike McCarthy who got blamed. It felt like then, when we saw him have other issues in the playoffs past McCarthy, even with LaFleur, people started looking at it closer. Then when Rodgers got a little odd, people started looking at it a little closer in those things. But
I think also his last 2 years in Green Bay, didn't he win 7 games and then 6
It was
games?
bad. But then
the second one was 6 games with Rodgers.
They get to Dallas. And Dallas had Jason Garrett and it had Dak, and they have the most success for Dallas that they've had.
So you think it's a good hire?
So I wouldn't have made the hire for Pittsburgh because I agree with you guys that the goal is to, bottom out and come up.
Rebuild.
But it feels like funny analysis of, I don't like the hire because they'll be competent too quickly. And so I agree. It is my analysis.
They stay pat.
I agree with you guys. My point is, it's a weird standard that we're saying hire a young coach in part because we want you to win 3 games next year. Which, again, I think is the smart path. And now by hiring this guy, there's no way you win 3 games.
Well,
and so therefore it's bad. I agree it's bad, but it's just odd.
If they had hired Flores, they were going to win a lot of games too. I mean, 8, 9 games. We're going to be competitive. I just, he's older, so he's not going to be there, that much, over a decade probably. 62.
A decade, gee whiz.
I'm just saying, it's just.
It feels uninspiring.
Yeah,
I agree with you.
It's a stand pat move. I kind of feel like you're treading water.
Granted, this is Patriots-centric. The Patriots won a Super Bowl. Went through a full rebuild with Mac Jones. That didn't work. Rebuilt that rebuild. Hired a coach, fired a coach. Fired 2 coaches. Got Mike Vrabel, and now back in the Super Bowl. In the time the Steelers have not won a playoff game.
Yeah.
Not good.
Chiefs had a whole dynasty.
It's still ongoing.
I understand, but I'm saying the entirety of it.
What grade will Professor Brou give Drake Maye? Oh, my gosh, it's something naughty under there. That's next on First Things First. Why is it pixelated?
Because it's not
safe for work.
Live from New York, it's the show that is reintroducing Professor Brou. I'm so happy.
Yeah, I thought with the Cowboys' demise, Professor Brou's demise.
No,
he's back.
You're tenured, buddy.
Yeah, that's exactly
about
right.
you.
Second hour of First Things First. Today, look at this. The Patriots are already huge. Is huge fair?
No, they're not huge.
Large?
Sizable.
Sizable underdogs in the Super Bowl. Why I actually think that's a good thing. Meanwhile, Sam Darnold plays the game of his life. Are we all ready to believe in him? And to what extent? But right now,
KW is going to find himself in quite the pickle.
I like him. For him. A week after throwing 3 touchdowns, Drake Maye did more with his legs than arms, 65 rushing yards and a touchdown. He also ended the game with a surprise scramble to punch his ticket to Santa Clara and the Super Bowl. Stephon Diggs loved it. Take a listen.
That's a soldier, man. That's an MVP, man. That's a guy that stands 10 toes, battles through adversity, man. He's a hell of a player, man. I'm riding with Drake Maye, man. I'm thankful to have a quarterback like that, and I'm going to give him everything I got every time.
Stephon Diggs, I love you. Drake Maye this postseason, kind of a mixed bag here, but 3 W's, Brou. So what grade are you giving him for his full run in this playoffs?
Look, I'm not a QB wins guy except for the playoffs. Oh. And there's even a little nuance there. Like when Jimmy G got the Niners to the Super Bowl. Remember, they won a game with him throwing 8 passes.
Yeah.
That's one thing. But assuming you are the driving force, which Drake Maye is for this team, and you may just have a bad game, I don't hold that against quarterbacks because so many great ones have had bad or mediocre wins. Peyton Manning was bad in the second Super Bowl win, but we just say he got 2 Super Bowls. So to me, it means something when you play great in the playoffs and you win. That does take you to another level. But I don't really, I just want you to understand the context of my grade. He has beaten 3 of the top 10 defenses in the league, all right, in his run. His passing numbers are not great, and he's taken 15 sacks, which is by far the most, all right? Now, he's faced great pass rushers, but still. But this is his first time in the playoffs, a little curve. He is the 5th leading rusher in the playoffs. And it's not just because he's played 3 games, because like 3 of the top 5 have all played 3 games, all right? So he has 141 rush yards. That's 5th most among all the rushers, most of them running backs, all right? And yesterday he did it, as you said, with his legs. He scored the touchdown. He had the key run, 28 yards, on the game-winning drive, which was a field goal. And then he had the run that sealed the game, which was a great run. So with all that said, Nick, I'm not going overboard, but I'm giving the young man a B.
I'll take it.
A B.
I'll take it.
So
getting to the Super Bowl his first run.
KW, do I believe in Drake Maye?
Yeah, you have been a Drake Maye supporter.
I have been a Drake Maye guy. Like whatever skepticism I've had about the Patriots, and it hasn't been huge. I picked him, like you said, before the playoffs. That's what I was going to say. Like I don't think anybody look at me as Drake Maye is not in the Bo Nix or Brock Purdy category of where folks who are their biggest fans don't like me because of things I've said about them, right? And if you were to ask me right now, this moment, I can have any quarterback in the league moving forward. My number 1 pick is Patrick. It's like, okay, Patrick's off the board. My number 2 pick is Josh. He's off the board. My number 3 pick is him.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Ahead of Caleb, as much as I love Caleb, ahead of Lamar, ahead of Burrow. So that is how I feel about Drake Maye holistically. But this is where I think the QB wins start being spelled with a Z instead of an S. Because, yes, the Patriots have played great defenses, but the story of this playoff run is the Patriots defense. The story of the playoff run is the Patriots making Justin Herbert see ghosts, making us question whether or not C.J. Stroud should get a contract, and making the plays that set up the Drake Maye win. Like they caused the pressure that gave them a 12-yard field for the first touchdown. Yep. They stopped the 4th down. And whenever we've talked about the quarterback stuff, I've tried to make it understood. It is not that I'm trying to steal credit from other people just to put it in a box somewhere. It's to make sure guys who I think deserve it get it. And thus, Drake Maye was the biggest reason, other than Vrabel, in my opinion, that the Patriots got the 2 seed, that the Patriots got to where they are.
Absolutely.
But he has not been, to me, anywhere close to the biggest reason they are in the Super Bowl, as far as the playoff run of it. He's the reason they got to the 2 seed, and he has been a passenger for the playoff run. I will give him credit for yesterday avoiding disaster, because a turnover would have been disastrous. However, these are his numbers for the playoff run, alongside another quarterback who made a Super Bowl. So what you'll see is the other teams scored a little more points. Neither one have good completion percentage. The other guy obviously worse and fewer yards per game. But
there's no chance I like this graphic.
But obviously bigger plays and less mistakes. Passer rating, call it a wash. Do you have any guess on who that other person is?
The worst quarterback of all time.
Jimmy G?
No.
Or,
the worst quarterback. Someone.
Well, I mean, who's?
Just some random person.
I mean, they made the Super Bowl. It's a playoff run to the Super Bowl.
It's going to be, just think of
Dilfer.
someone.
There you go.
It's Trent Dilfer?
Yeah. And so
Dilfer's a Super Bowl winning.
The story of that Ravens team in the playoffs and all year was the defense.
Right. That's a big difference.
That is a big difference as far as how, if they win the Super Bowl, how we'll remember this season. He is not a passenger. He, again, was the most important and best player on the team. But on this Super Bowl run, I cannot say he's the driving force.
I think passenger's way too strong. A passenger doesn't throw that pass to Kayshon Boutte in the last game.
So
I mean, that's just not happening.
He has had moments, but the one game we can say that KW that you think he played well in, he had 4 fumbles. So game 1 he was bad. Game 3 is weird because he threw for 80 yards and completed less than half his passes, which you care about a lot. Game 2, he had highlights and crazy mistakes. So I'm trying to be fair, and I think this is fair. Like,
I mean, I'm not totally trying to be fair.
What do you mean?
I mean, you're saying he's Trent Dilfer.
No. I flatly did not say he's Trent Dilfer.
You put up a full screen as him.
What I'm saying is,
I also think there is a difference.
Statistical run to the Super Bowl on a team that in the playoffs the defense has been utterly dominant, as Trent Dilfer had.
So there's 2 things that I think, and I don't know Trent Dilfer's weather conditions to get there. I think that you have to bake in.
Yes.
1, the Chargers game was cold, but it was our home game. The Texans game was snow and rainy, and yesterday was snowy and rainy.
The stats
so I think that has to be baked into it somehow.
Out of the window.
Also,
Brou, the first half the weather was perfect.
Yeah, first half.
And he had
it's still.
First half he was not great. I think that people think I'm going to push back on the easy schedule stuff. I admit that our schedule in the regular season was too easy. This playoff run, too hard though. Maybe the schedule is too easy. This playoff run, too hard.
Really?
So if we want, you got to grade this on a curve.
Hear this.
Just historically, beat top 5 defenses
great defense.
every playoff game since the merger. It's us. It's the '98 Broncos. '95. To go through 3 of these defenses, I think he could have played better, sure, but the job is to win the game.
Right.
And I think a lot of times we were playing this game. I mean, there's certainly plays yesterday where we're not trying to move the ball. I'm not saying that.
No, you're always trying to move the ball.
Once it was, you saw something. They threw it away. They was like, "Look, we'll punt it away."
Yeah, we were happy
to
punt a few times, and I think that the only pushback I would have to you, not to be disagreeable, you said on Friday, I think, like if he plays a clean game, it's hard for the Patriots to lose.
Right.
And that was if he was listening to this show, he's like, okay, that's what I have to do. Sure, I don't have to do much. Like, just play a clean game. Don't put the ball in harm's way. It's going to be windy. Don't let Surtain come up with one, even though he challenged Surtain a few times. That's what he did and got the win.
And I'm correct, which is why he's not being criticized. I'm not criticizing Drake Maye.
But I think saying he's a passenger is.
I think saying in this playoff. Let me rephrase it. In this playoff run, I would give, if we were doing credit pie in the playoff run, Mike Vrabel and the defense account for 80% of Nick Wright's credit pie. Because and then the offense, however we want to account it, gets the other 20%. Because the defense has been brilliant. Vrabel has been brilliant. That's the point that I'm making.
I think that is fair.
Really?
The defense is.
The defense is insane. But you just
under
showed
10 points.
You just showed the great defenses Drake Maye has faced.
Yes.
Where are the great offenses that the defense has faced? I'm not trying to take anything away from him. I just think 80% is way too much. Justin Herbert, we know, has melted down in every one of his playoff games. C.J. Stroud was terrible, and then you just faced the backup. I'm just saying 80% is way too much.
I mean, I think that
because I think Drake has been more important than
but if we're going to use Justin Herbert's playoff history against him, then it's got to work in the other direction on C.J. Stroud, which you had made the point repeatedly. C.J. Stroud had been good in the playoffs until he had the game against the Patriots. Herbert had the least productive game of his career, not as far as turnovers, but as far as productivity in that game. I just think now this game's different because it's a backup quarterback. I understand that.
And the snow.
I think that's fair. The defense, for what it's worth, if you listen to the guys, they think they're the best defense in the league.
Well, they've been great.
This playoff run, they have looked like it.
All right, head to Seattle. Sam Darnold balled out, 3 touchdowns, almost 350 yards, passer rating of 128. Here's Mike McDonald and JSN.
To come out the way he played by barely practicing, is just barely throwing the ball, is really incredible. I mean, it's like should go down as one of the best performances in playoff history, I'd imagine.
Can't say enough about Sam, man. It's been a great first year. We got one more to go, but for him to overcome what he has to overcome, I'm rolling with Sam all day. So, we believe in him. This building believe in him. The city believe in him, and it's awesome to run out on the field with him.
Did Sam Darnold silence his doubters?
I think without a doubt, no pun intended. He was brilliant in the biggest spot against what I think the general public believes, maybe incorrectly, was the toughest team left in the tournament.
Sure.
As far as what the public thinks about the Rams
outside of the Seahawks, yeah.
Yeah, outside of the team that he's on. I'm saying like that, and there is a little extra. I know everybody says, and they're correct, when Allen and Mahomes play each other, they're not on the field at the same time. Quarterbacks don't play each other. We all know that. But there is a little extra gravitas to having a monster game when the guy on the other sideline is going to have a monster game too because he's that guy. And being able to stare down Matt Stafford going throw for throw is, to get to the Super Bowl, pretty remarkable.
Yep.
The fact that after the Rams didn't get that 4th down, Mike McDonald, and I know he's Mike McDonald's defensive coach, but Clint Kubiak, and I'm sure he runs it through the head coach, trusted Darnold on 2nd and 3rd downs instead of just hand the ball off, try to grind clock, maybe we pick it up, if not, we'll punt it away. Like, no, Sam, go pick up 1st downs. Let's not give the ball back to them is really special. And what I think, Brou, is you can't have this type of game in the NFC Championship game and ever have someone say, I don't think he can do it in big games. Doesn't mean you're going to do it in every big game.
Yep.
But like once you have that level of performance on that stage, it's no longer a fair criticism to be like, I just will never trust him in a big spot. So that to me, the answer is yes, bro.
Yeah, no question, because there was only one doubt. The one doubt was, can he do it in a big game? And he just did, like you said. So there's no question he has silenced the doubters and the haters and all of that. And I agree with what you said. You just can't bring that up anymore because he's already gotten it done. And to do it against a team that you had thrown 6 interceptions against in your last 2 meetings with them. That mentally, and we know the questions about Darnold. We know he was a little reckless early in his career, even in college. But then when he talked about I'm seeing ghosts, now you started questioning his mental toughness,
And that has really stuck with him a lot.
Yeah,
that was
but
just
not
that
has to be gone too, because it's mentally to know. Not only am I facing a great team, but I have been garbage against them for the most part this season. My last 2 games, I know he came on late, but for 3/4 of that game, he was bad. I've thrown 6 interceptions against them, 4 in one game. I have to overcome all that. He hears the doubt, all the people questioning him and criticizing him. So I give him a lot of props for mental toughness. And here's the thing, Nick. Look at Sam Darnold over the last 2 years.
Oh, yeah.
The best record first. Passer rating, everything else, he's in the top 10.
In everything.
And I will admit this, and maybe this contradicts the graphic. I still am hesitant. I'm not ready to call him elite. We talked about that last week.
Then
I'm not ready to call him elite.
So then your answer is that he did not.
I think he's a tier 2 quarterback right now. Now, I think even if he wins the Super Bowl and plays like he just did, he will. To me, he goes in the next season as a tier 2 quarterback. And then
who's in your tier 1 again?
It's
Mahomes, Lamar, Burrow,
Josh
Allen, and Stafford.
It's a top 5. Tier
And
1
then,
for him is a top 5.
I think he goes. Would you agree with that?
I mean, am I going to have Matt Stafford as a top 5 quarterback? I don't. Probably not.
Next year?
Going into next year, actually, there's no way. I'm agreeing with you, Brou. I'm not going to have.
Oh, you're talking about. No, you're saying Stafford. You're talking about.
Oh,
Darnold.
I meant Darnold. I misspoke.
Can I kick something around to you?
Yeah.
You too. You agree with us?
Yeah, I think I have.
Okay, that's all. Tier 2 is
I'll
legit.
switch Drake out. I'll put Drake in top 5. But that's not what I want to discuss right now. Darnold silenced the doubters. I think we feel like media or like people online. I think the doubters are Jets, Vikings, and Carolina. And we, the media, saw professional organizations give up on these guys, or give up specifically on Sam Darnold. I think, and maybe they're not. They're like, we called it wrong. I think there should be some real hard conversations with the decision makers in those
mainly
organizations.
the Jets.
Well, no, the Vikings.
The Vikings was so obvious. It was so obvious. And they're like, nah, we're moving on. I thought it was a bad decision for a year. And it just felt like, no, we drafted this guy out of Michigan. We're going to make it work. And
no, that's fair.
I think it's
I have a crazy
awkward.
Just graphic to show you.
Let's hear it.
There have been 3 quarterback classes where you have 3+ guys get to 50 wins. And they are considered the greatest
wins. Okay.
Yeah, in their career. So you know what I mean? 50 wins hard. It means so Dust, can we throw it up? I know we're ruining the clock, but just this. So it's what's pretty much considered the greatest quarterback class ever. Elway, Marino, Kelly, O'Brien. They went to 10 Super Bowls. 04, Big Ben, Eli Rivers. They went to 5 Super Bowls. 2018, Josh Allen, Lamar Jackson, Baker Mayfield, who have been to 0 Super Bowls. And now Sam Darnold, who is the only one from that draft class to make a Super Bowl.
I love this conversation.
That's remarkable. That's a bigger conversation we can have over the next 2 weeks.
Let's do that tomorrow.
But that's a remarkable fact that he's the first quarterback from that draft class.
If it was club super, I feel like tier 1 is too tight of a club. I feel like it needs to be like more like club superstar. The Great American Race returns with back-to-back champion William Byron. Looking for a historic three-peat. Doesn't get bigger than this. The 68th running of the Daytona 500, February 15th, only on Fox. Great week. Got the Super Bowl, and then right the next weekend, Daytona 500. Super Bowl 60, February 8th, Seahawks-Patriots rematch. Last game ended on this goal line interception by Malcolm Butler. Only time we're going to show it.
You know, the more I see it, sure, it just feels like pass interference.
It's not pass interference.
I was thinking that too.
This line is right now almost 5 points in favor of Seattle. Did this surprise you, Nick?
A little bit, because you see the look-ahead lines, and a week ago they told us that if it was Rams or Seahawks against Patriots, it'd be 3.5, and Rams or Seahawks against Denver, it would be 8.5. It was the Stidham factor there. And this did open exactly where they said it would, and then moved all the way up to 5 in some spots, and it's 4.5 here.
Wild.
Which means the money came in on Seattle, which I think is less a reflection of people being cooling on the Pats after this weekend's performance, and more reflection, Brou, of people being like, damn, if Seattle can win a shootout too now, then there's more paths for them to victory. So I think that was a reflection of being impressed by Darnold more than the Patriots.
More than like Drake Maye looks bad.
Yeah, I think most people chalk a lot of that game up to the weather. And I think history will just say, oh, that was a blizzard. Even though we all know the first 2.5 quarters of that game, there was no snow at all. But I think it's more about, holy moly, look at what Sam Darnold just did, and that is why Seattle is the 4.5-point favorite.
Yeah, I'm not that surprised. I'm sorry, Wilds. Seattle's looked fantastic in the playoffs. They demolished San Francisco, who I get they were banged up, but they were banged up when they beat Philadelphia, the defending champion.
Okay.
And then they beat a team, like Nick said, who many people thought was the best team left, with the presumable MVP, probably the future MVP in Matt Stafford. And Drake has not played as well as he did in the regular season. I gave him a B. I think he's been fine. Like I said, he's gotten them to the Super Bowl. But he has not been on his A game, and Sam Darnold has. And so, and most people, and this may not be the case, or it may not be true, but most people think Seattle's defense is better. Now, I agree with you that the Patriots have an argument.
Yep.
But most people think Seattle's got the better defense. They got the quarterback that's playing better.
They did hold the Rams to, what was the final?
27 points.
27 points. So, yeah, that wasn't an impressive game on their home turf. I love this. I love this with all my heart.
How come?
Because we've faced a lot of no one believes in us. But as you correctly pointed out, our win total line, I think, was at 8.5.
Yeah.
And a lot of people had us making the playoffs.
You guys were favored in 13 of your 17 games this year, and were favored in every playoff game.
So it's odd to where the no one believed in us. Like, no, actually, where people put your money where your mouth is, people did believe in you. But now we have some real ammunition. And as you know, and I've been trying to hammer this brand, but it hasn't really taken yet. On this side of the table, we believe in due dates.
Yes.
Right? You believe in due dates.
No doubt.
The Seahawks
No question.
are on such a winning streak?
No.
Oh, okay.
But I was like, who's due for a huge game? Is it
Drake?
Is it Drake Maye? And who's due to have a bad game? Would that be Sam Darnold?
Oh, I don't think that's true because Darnold wasn't right. Darnold had been mediocre for a month prior to
Okay, so he's not. Okay, that's
fine. Yeah, but the Drake Maye thing, yes.
If people think all right, both defenses I think are now, including the playoffs, are 1 and 2 in scoring defense, Seattle and Patriots. So it's all right, is the line that much because you think Drake Maye is not going to play well? I think Drake Maye is due for a huge game. I'm just surprised it's 4, even 3.
No, I think I think there is real concern, and I understand you retweeted for all the criticism of Will Campbell belly flopping out there. He didn't allow a sack. I think there's real concern about the Pats' offensive line against the Seattle D line. I think that, and we're gonna have more time to get into it. Can I say one other thing?
I was worried about that for Denver. I didn't see anything happen.
Well, I mean, you guys. I mean, your guys' offensive line.
You got sacked 5 times.
Yeah, you got sacked 5 times. You guys scored 10 points. You guys did win the game. The team, you guys had a great team win, but the issues on the offensive line, I think, did show up in that game, which is one of the reasons why the offense struggled so much even before the snow came. But because I know I'm the only person that keeps bringing this up. I really feel like we are a Rashid Shaheed punt return not happening from that Rams hosting that game and the Rams being in the Super Bowl, and I'm just devastated for the Rams.
Well, we had the Door of Destiny, which is one of the best segments
They're
that
a little
we do.
dark.
Now we're doing a
musty
segment with flowers dedicated to the Rams because Nick has some sort of relationship, not with the team, but with a take that the team represents.
I think it's time to end the relationship. We'll see. I can't wait to hear this letter.
To Nick, from Wait and See, SEA. Do you want to read this one, or do you want me to read it?
It's from Seattle?
It seems like it's from Seattle.
Oh, those are Seattle colors?
Yes, those are neon green.
Oh, okay.
You call it, KW.
Okay.
I'd rather have you read it because I, as you know, think this is gross.
You've always read them.
I'll certainly read it if you want me to.
I would like you to.
You get around, Nick. My goodness.
From the Bucks.
The Bucks, the Rams, the Seahawks.
First of all, just segment-wise, it's always too long. All these words. It's just I'm out here. No, I'm not. Right off the jump. No.
I've never gotten a letter from the Seahawks win the Super Bowl take.
To Nicky Poo.
That's private.
I know you were watching your Rams closely last night, but couldn't help but notice you took a few glances my way. And that's a little emoji, but you have to admit, the spark is there and always has been there.
Really? Has it? Really?
I've always loved the Pacific Northwest. Everybody knows that.
Week 11, you smiled at us in LA. Week 16, You blew us a kiss in Seattle.
That didn't happen.
And last night, the tension was palpable. Guess what? That's why they say third time's the charm. I don't want to rush into anything, but you have 2 weeks to decide. Until then, I'll be sleepless in Seattle. And then, of course, there's lips. XOXO, the Seahawks Super Bowl champion take. I know you're in a rough time. We didn't really even talk about your breakup with the Rams to the Super Bowl take, and that's on the heels of your breakup with the Bucks this year. So you have had a hard time finding love, but I think you are worthy of it.
Well, thank you, KW. They make a strong case.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, everybody knows that I get around in the NFC.
I mean, my goodness.
You don't have to make this decision right now.
It's nice to know I'm wanted.
I think that's fair.
Yeah, I think so.
Savvy analysis and whatever that was. That's one of your favorite sports shows. First things first. We've had some great basketball games on Fox College Hoops Friday. This time, number 3, Michigan. Number 7, Michigan State. That's 8 o'clock on Friday. Now we get a little football break, jump into some college.
Oh, yeah.
Matthew Stafford toyed with retirement a few years ago this offseason, missed most of training camp before putting up MVP numbers. So what does the future hold after this year? Well, here's Stafford and McVay. Take a listen.
Can't generalize 6 months of my life, 10 minutes after a loss.
If he still wants to play, what the hell kind of question is that? The answer, yeah. You have to ask him. We've been totally present. I know that if he wants to, he's still playing at a pretty damn good clip. I mean, he's the MVP of the league, and if he's not, I got respect for everybody else, but this guy played at a level that's just different.
Yeah, maybe. Your reaction?
Yeah, I mean, I understand emotions are raw, and I think what Sean McVay said is absolutely right. The Rams want Matt Stafford back.
Yes.
And the only reason he's not the quarterback of the Rams next year is if he retires. If he does retire, Brou, and I don't think he's going to, I also think that, man, that back might act up around training camp again. I think that he showed hanging out in the immortal chamber will be just fine for him if that's what he needs to do. But he's cemented himself as a Hall of Famer, in my opinion, and he was not that prior to this year.
I thought you said that he needed to
win MVP.
Oh, just
win MVP. Yeah, the either or I thought would have cemented it for him. If they had won the Super Bowl, then you start talking about him where he is in the all-time list. But for me, Brou, he is better. All the guys that to me are borderline of this era, he's better than. I think he's better than Russell Wilson. I think he's better than Phillip Rivers. I think he's better than Eli Manning. Yes. And I think he's obviously better than Matt Ryan and Cam Newton, guys who won an MVP. And so I think he is like the threshold now to get in, and I think he gets in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'd say he's better than Roethlisberger, too. I think so.
That one's tough for me because Roethlisberger
obviously
had such more extended success.
He had the long string in Detroit where he didn't do much. Here's the thing, though. Even though I might think he's better than Roethlisberger, right now he doesn't have. He's interesting. Reputationally, right now, I think everybody feels like he's an MVP.
Or a Hall of Famer.
Hall of Famer. Everybody has a ton of respect for him and his ability. He likely will win this MVP award. So you feel like he's an MVP caliber player. So he has it reputationally. He has it statistically. He even had that in Detroit, right, statistically. But I don't know that he has the resume. This is crazy because he's only a 3-time Pro Bowler.
Yeah, that's all in the wash now.
And he's only a 1-time All-Pro, which was this year.
2 more times than Shedeur Sanders?
I know, right. And the Pro Bowl is crazy, wacky now. But I'm just saying, I know he has likely the MVP, the Super Bowl win, but I do think you can argue, yes, he played like a Hall of Famer. He has the numbers of a Hall of Famer, even in Detroit when he didn't win. But wow, he just made 3 Pro Bowls?
I think that's the only. The flip side is, I think the only argument against him.
Yeah, I agree. Eli even made 4, and he's better than Eli. I agree with you. I think, but if I were him, I'm trying to come back and
cement it.
Play more. Now I'm with a great, team.
Sean Payton said the fans would have 2 weeks to rest when they got done beating the Patriots. Well, plenty of rest now. Benito, who went up against Will Campbell, had no sacks, only 1 pressure. Still thinks the Broncos were the better team. Take a listen.
Sickening, bro. I mean, to think that all we fought through this year, all the games we had to win, knowing we definitely the better team, but it just didn't work out that way today.
Definitely is tough.
You're going to be mad at me, Wilds, but I get where he's coming from. If we just played you and lost by 3 points with our backup quarterback, sure. I'm not saying they are the better team. I'm just saying I understand his shoes. If I'm him, I'm thinking, man, if we had Bo Nix, we'd have won this game. I'm not saying they would have wiped you out, but we'd have won this game. So I'm not going to kill him for that.
I'm not going to kill him for it. I am going to say I really do wonder how this type of emotionally devastating end of a season is going to hit the Broncos for next year.
Oh.
I think that, and it's not their fault. Their quarterback broke his ankle, and it leaves a lot of what-ifs. But I felt like the Lions never fully recovered from blowing the NFC Championship game. Now, there was a lot of things that then happened to them after that. They injured the next year, even though they had a good regular season, lose the coordinators. But the Broncos are going to go from a team that the only people that believe in them are in that locker room and the head coach to the number 1 seed, getting the quarterback back with the number 1 schedule, all of it. And they have put a real target on themselves given the bravado of their coach, the own things their own players have said, particularly about their standing within that division, about them and the Chiefs, all of that. It just feels like the Rams, assuming Stafford's back, are certainly more equipped to deal with their devastating conference championship loss than the Broncos. And I don't think we're a better team. We were the better team when we lost. Usually results in the next year you prove that to everyone. Usually it results in a tougher next season. That's my read.
Live from snowy New York City, it's First Things First overtime. Today, what did Sam Darnold prove a Parkins question favorite? We're talking about NFC quarterbacks. Meanwhile, Sean McVay a little fired up after the game. Like, hey, man, we're just asking you to say something nice about Stafford, gee whiz. What's next for Stafford and the Rams? And should they draft a quarterback?
Yeah, they got 2 first-round picks.
Back up, future guy.
I was going to draft a quarterback every year, like the Packers.
Yeah.
And the Dolphins.
Ron Wolf, Kevin
out for the Packers.
And finally, an early Super Bowl preview. And we kick around, did the Patriots really win the game? Or did the Broncos lose it? I actually love that question. Sometimes I hate it. Today, I love it. Alongside Chris Broussard, I'm Kevin Wilds, Nick Wright, and of course, Danny Parkins. Parkins, give us a preview of your Super Bowl preview. Don't give us the whole thing, but just a preview of the preview. Like, how they have trailers?
Yeah.
This is like the teaser.
Well, I said that the NFC Championship game was the real Super Bowl. I still feel that way.
That was more like...
Did I give away the ending? Did I give away the ending?
Face.
Yeah, that hurt my feelings a little bit.
I'm sorry.
Wow.
Congrats on your door.
Danny's top 10 has had Seattle atop it for
it's like week 12.
Since Thanksgiving.
Also had the Chargers at 3, so it all did.
You know what? Strong point.
Let's focus on the positives.
Right.
Sam Darnold went from seeing ghosts to being the Rams' worst nightmare. 3 touchdowns, almost 350 yards through the air. Seattle headed to Santa Clara. Here's Mike McDonald.
Just really, really proud of our guys. It was a team win. We didn't play our best game on defense. We made enough plays to win. You got to give them a lot of credit. They had a great game plan. Did some things we weren't ready for. We had to adjust again. Par for the course for their offense, and it's a team win. And you can't talk about the game without talking about our quarterback. I mean, he just shut a lot of people up tonight. So I'm really happy for him.
Are you shocked that Sam Darnold won a shootout with Stafford?
Of course.
Yeah.
of course, but it was amazing to watch. It's why we tune into sports, right? It's not just about the reputation and what you've accomplished in the past. It's like, what are you going to do on this day? And it was, listen, I thought these were the two best teams, like we've talked about for a long time, but obviously in all of that analysis but of course the Rams have the better quarterback. And yesterday it was a heavyweight fight between those two quarterbacks, and Darnold got the best of him. And his story, it's a movie. He's 8 years into the league. He's had 5 teams. But he started at 21 years old with the Jets. So he starts with Todd Bowles and Adam Gase. And so it's like, okay, well, I guess you're a bust because you're 22, 23 years old and you had terrible coaching for a dysfunctional franchise. And then you go to another franchise that is dysfunctional in Carolina and you get Matt Rule. And then you have to deal with Baker Mayfield, who was the one guy who was drafted in front of you. And then, all right, I guess now you can't be a starter anymore. So you go and you're a backup for a brilliant coach in Kyle Shanahan, and you just learn. And then you go and you get a weird opportunity in Minnesota that was like a happy accident, but also for a great coach. And now the first team that ever really believes in him and invests in him since the Jets is an objectively good franchise, and it's a good situation. And now he's 28 years old, and he's the favorite to win the Super Bowl and win Super Bowl MVP. And Matt Stafford didn't win a Super Bowl until he was 34. So I just think it's like...
So you're saying that it's on the board, Darnold is just now one of the best quarterbacks in football.
Absolutely.
Like moving forward.
And Brou, I thought last week made interesting, it was totally fair, but you kept saying where you couldn't have him, you couldn't quite put him there because you're not going to forget the first 4 or 5 years of his careers, right? And I think that is obviously fair, and we all do it. But if we all also would agree that those situations, he was either the backup or really young with bad franchises, we should be weighing these most recent data points way more than those old ones. And now it feels like anything is possible in front of Sam Darnold.
I would agree with that. I said earlier, I'm not ready to call him elite.
That's fine.
And I'm not ready to, even if he goes out in the Super Bowl, wins it, plays like he did this weekend, I said I think he goes in the next year, for me, as a tier 2 quarterback. Kind of below that top 5. But I agree with you that he could move into the top 5. I don't think that's off the table now. He has had, and we have stats here for what he's done, I think we can show him, the last 2 years. This is why y'all play. Yeah, this is the last 2 years. He's been easily top 10 in everything. And now you throw in a Super Bowl. I'm just talking about during next regular season, if halfway through or 6 games in or something, he's cooking. Then it's you know what? This dude, he's the real deal. He's already the real deal, but he's elite. You can start arguing him for top 5.
Well, it also here's what it throws into question, because we talked about how the best quarterback classes in league history, the ones that have had 3 or more quarterbacks win 50-plus games, and that his quarterback class had him, Josh, Lamar, and Baker. And he's somehow the first of those 3 to make a Super Bowl. The only of those other 3, so the 4 total to make a Super Bowl. It does make you at least be like, what if one of those guys who are won MVPs already, Josh or Lamar, the Jets had taken them? Seems like what you're talking about. Would those guys, eventually the talent wins out, right? If you get the opportunity, we think, but would they have been, because Lamar and Josh were considered far rawer prospects. They weren't as young as Sam, but so that to me is, it does make you, Kevin Clark makes this point a lot, way more teams fail quarterbacks than quarterbacks fail teams. And Darnold really is crystallizing it because, and I keep referencing it, it really did feel for years like the only person in the national media that believed in this guy was Colin.
That's true.
It was Cowherd. It's not like there were a lot of people that said, man, Darnold is
needs a shot.
And it was more in vogue. There were more people like me that believed in Trevor, certainly, than Darnold. You know what I mean? And so that part to me is a unique question that now applies to a bunch of other quarterbacks that we have just kind of thrown out.
Can I ask you a question? Because you brought up this, like, you have another data point that Burrow, Super Bowl second year, Caleb Pop second year, Drake in the MVP second year.
Yeah.
That through another lens.
This is Darnold's second year.
No. Through another lens, like, it's got to happen quick or it's a wrap.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want to be holding on to Kenny Pickett for the stray, for a long time. Like, it's got to pop. So how do you keep those two theories?
I think that it is there. Listen, some guys can ascend past circumstances. And one of the reasons, and I know it's not in vogue right now given the end of his year, that I have believed so much in a guy like Baker is because I think the Browns were dysfunctional.
Yeah.
And still, his second year was third years when they got to the playoffs.
And he had a good rookie year.
Right. He had a good rookie year. And so I think there are some situational things, but I think that where it really is true is if you're with a franchise that has a history of not being incompetent and we believe in your coach, you should show it sooner than later.
Yep.
So, and like Burrow to me overcame it because I don't know that I believe in the coach. I certainly don't believe in the franchise.
No, I think that's
and
fair.
they found a way there. To directly answer the question, Danny, for me, I did not think it was on the board. If we can show Christina the Stafford-Darnold duel being in the same category as the Allen Mahomes 13-second game, I did not think this graphic could exist in reality. Like that, both quarterbacks just play nails and one guy's got to lose. And so I thought there was a scenario where Darnold outplayed Stafford, but I thought that would have to be because Stafford played poorly. That it would be that Darnold got a B-, but he outplayed him because Stafford turned the ball over a bunch. I did not think it was at all possible that Stafford would play another awesome game against this awesome defense and Darnold would just match him moment for moment, throw for throw.
Well, and, we're watching the game together, and we're trying to first guess all of these decisions. And we've definitely seen games this year where Darnold had gotten a little shaky, maybe taken a bad sack, airmailed a pass, whatever, and then it felt like Seattle kind of, we'll just call a quick bubble screen. Or we'll throw like a one-read throw where it's either it's there or you throw it away. Like, not hiding him, but not totally trusting him. In this game...
Oh, he's feeling it.
He was so, and Brady called it when you hit the deep shot. He said, it makes you feel 9 feet tall as a quarterback. Yep. You could see it in his body language, how he was stepping into throws, all of it, and it was reflected in their play calling. They just kept throwing,
including on the final drive.
Right, they were not playing the clock. They were trusting their quarterback, and that's plenty of teams just play to grind clock and have the other team use timeouts. They trusted their quarterback. It was a huge step for him.
Well, Danny, and here's where he outplayed Stafford. Like, you could argue, Stafford was just as good, but they
this was
didn't
good
win.
Because I feel like this.
Look at the third and fourth down efficiency.
Spin on thing.
Yeah, I mean, Darnold was phenomenal in that situation, and Stafford wasn't. And that's the first game in his career, Stafford, no completions on third or fourth down.
And for Darnold, it was 3rd and 9, it was 3rd and 10, it was 3rd and 12. They were some 3rd and longs.
Yep. And all three of his touchdown passes came against pressure too. Like it was the game of his life, his best game in the biggest game of his life.
Can I say one more thing, Danny, and I'll just get your take on this since you're our resident NFC North expert?
Yeah.
We've been talking about people giving up on Darnold. The Jets gave up on Darnold. I watched those games playing the Patriots. Like, Sam Darnold was not good. It's not like, maybe it was bad coaching, maybe it was just a product, but he was not good. We saw the games in Carolina. There was, he was good with CMC. If CMC wasn't there, he was not good. We didn't see much as a backup in San Francisco, but we thought he was getting better. The Minnesota Vikings, if I was a Vikings fan, I would be sick to my stomach right now. Like, hold on. We're not the Jets. This guy balled out for us. We have a good defense, just like the Seahawks have a good defense. We have a star wide receiver, just like Seattle has a star wide receiver. We have a brilliant head coach, just like Seattle has a head coach. So the Jets giving up on Sam Darnold, so be it. That happens. Carolina, we can't identify a quarterback. But the Vikings giving up on Sam Darnold after 14 wins, having him immediately go to the Super Bowl because, he can't get over the big game. This is less of a indictment on Sam Darnold doubters in the media and online, and more so directly at the Minnesota Vikings.
Yeah, listen, I think that's fair. I think the Vikings had some organizational arrogance where they thought Kevin O'Connell was like, well, I got Kirk Cousins to throw for nearly 5,000 yards, and I got Sam Darnold to do it. I traded up one spot. J.J. McCarthy's cheap. Sam Darnold costs $100 million. I can do it with J.J. McCarthy too.
Now you've got the fourth best quarterback in your division.
Yeah, by a considerable margin.
No, and we got to see how the offseason shakes out. Probably the worst quarterback in your conference.
And the one you just had is
in the Super Bowl.
Going to come in second place.
And about to just trounce the
Just
Patriots.
second place. He's going to have a rough Super Bowl, but he'll be in the Super Bowl. All right, other side of the ball. Stafford balled out, but it wasn't enough. Here he was after the game. Take a listen, Danny.
Had some opportunities, like I said, could have been a little bit better, in some areas, as always, every game, but still give ourselves some opportunities to win it in the fourth quarter. Didn't happen. It was a battle the whole game. It wasn't like we were all just, waiting for one play here or there. There was a million plays in a football game that can turn the tide, and we had our opportunities, didn't make it.
What was your number one reason the Rams came up short?
These were the two best teams, and I think it came down to one play, and I think Brou was correct, and it was the muffed punt. And I think that there were other little things, like I think Sean McVay, challenge timeout instead of challenge.
That was odd.
Yeah.
Oh, can you vouch for me on this real quick, Danny?
You're great
the
at it.
The moment it happened, I said just drop your challenge flag. I was like, you're going to call timeout anyway. Right. Your challenge doesn't matter. You do it. Just drop your challenge flag. And then he realized I screwed up because it was going to cost him.
And they had already granted him the timeout. No, you were on it immediately. Like that. It's not the biggest reason, but it contributes. I had no problem with it at the time. We talked about it when they scored the touchdown with 4 minutes left in the third quarter, kick the extra point. Is that too early? If they had gone for two, make it 31-28, then you only need a field goal to tie late. You think that game's going to be a shootout, too early to chase points. So there were little things. But I've told you guys for 2 months that these were the two best teams, and if the Bears couldn't be in the NFC Championship game, I wanted to see these teams play a third time because I thought it was just very clear. And over 12 quarters of football plus an overtime, if we throw it up, the difference between the two teams was one turnover in the playoffs. 88-85, yards less than 100, 8 first downs separate them in 3 games, but Rams muffed a punt.
No, and as you said, I thought it did come down to that one play. That's when Seattle took control. They scored on the next play, went up 11, and it was, obviously the Rams came back and made it close, but that's when Seattle had control of the game. And with two teams being this close, 3 points separate them into 3 games, that's all it takes. Now, I do feel that Seattle was the better team. And the reason I picked them was because looking at the regular season, when they had 7 turnovers, the Rams had 1 in the 2 games, and yet they were so close, and Seattle actually won 1. I feel like if they just protect the ball, they should win the game. And that's what they did, and the Rams made 1 turnover, Seattle made none, and that was the difference. And so, but it comes down to that one play, unfortunately, for Xavier Smith.
You guys are right that both of these, the 2 games Seattle won, the Rams had a devastating special teams gaffe. They allow a punt touchdown, they muff a punt. Mm-hmm. Despite all that, the ball is in the MVP's hands inside the 10-yard line with less than 5 minutes left, or with 5 minutes left, down less than a touchdown. And Seattle's defense, which Seattle, under this John Schneider era, their signature has been not only great defense, but great secondaries. Legion of Boom. And, Tariq Woolen was a mid-round pick who was awesome as a rookie, had some struggles better, as of late. Danny's guy, Devin Witherspoon, has been top 5 pick on. They draft Emin Wari because they think he can be the Kyle Hamilton for Mike McDonald's defense. They do all that, and you are playing a team who has maybe the best pair of receivers in football, Puka and Devontae, and on 3rd and 4th down, Matt Stafford has to throw to Terrence Ferguson and to Keaton Mumfield because those guys are covered. And that is, I don't know what there is some type of basketball comp where all of a sudden, Mario Chalmers is taking the biggest shot, but that in basketball it seems to happen a lot.
Yeah.
And because guys are wide open. You're throwing it to well-covered 5th and 6th options because your best options are so blanketed. And so that is, credit Mike McDonald, credit the players, credit John Schneider. But in this moment, I still thought the Rams were going to win, and I was going to hit my huge bet.
Yeah.
Why did you told me to cash out? Never cash out. I never cash out.
Can't be cashing out.
Scared
money doesn't make money.
Yeah,
Well, it actually does.
In fact,
you would have had a bunch of money.
But regardless, I just want to, you guys are right, but I just give the Seahawks credit for even the Rams almost overcame.
Yeah, I'm also right on that one. Because a long time ago, I was going through the tape, and I was like, you know what you need to do? Cover Puka.
Yeah.
Remember that? Because that first game that Puka, I think, had was it the second game? Puka had 200 yards. And me and Josh stayed late, and I was watching the tape. And I'm like, you know what you need to do? Cover Puka.
Yeah. Run the cover Puka play.
In a game that came down to it, they're like, did you hear Wild say cover Puka? And they did it. Yeah. And you spotted it.
Thanks, kids.
It wasn't pretty in Denver, but we got the W. And by we, I mean all of New England. Patriots did enough to take down Jarrett Stidham and the Broncos by a score of 10-7. A lot of people say, you called a blowout. Like, well, I don't know, 30% of your points. Danny, one of my favorite questions. Did the Patriots win this one, or did the Broncos lose it?
I think the bigger story is the Broncos loss. I think the Broncos lost this game.
Love it.
And I think I'd be sick if I was a Broncos fan. You got to feel like you win the game if Bo Nix doesn't get hurt. And you got to feel like you even could have won the game with Stidham with all of the chances you had early to score and you didn't before the weather came in. Whether it's the obvious one of Sean Payton not kicking to go up, which, for the record, I'm always a go for it on 4th and 1 guy.
Who wanted to kick that there, Danny?
You wanted to kick that one?
You wanted to go for that?
Danny wants to go for it every time.
As soon as I saw them line up, I loved it.
I'm sure. I get it. And listen, but what I said was, I wonder what he knew about the weather. Because as the forecast is getting worse and it's going to get to be tougher conditions to score, I understand it had been 3 drives and 3 punts. I understand it's 2 scores. I understand it's your backup quarterback. It makes it close. I understand getting it doesn't guarantee a touchdown. But generally speaking, I trust the team that had been running the ball well to gain 1 yard. They called a run. They went to a pass. That's obviously a mistake that got worse as it went on. And then the Patriots scored 1 touchdown on a 12-yard drive because of a fumble that I thought in the moment for 2 minutes afterwards was an incomplete pass. Like, you didn't do anything offensively. You're smiling. You're so happy. But, if you're a Broncos fan, it's like if you have your quarterback, you win.
It's destiny. Right?
If you have your quarterback, you win. If you gain a yard, you win. And if that is ruled an incomplete pass, you probably win. So I thought the Broncos.
We are the ones that got screwed on this. That's a touchdown that they blew the whistle prematurely.
Fortunately,
I was upset that we had to play more football on
No, that should have been a
defensive
touchdown.
score.
Yeah.
Okay, but sure. In the moment, I thought it was a pass, and if Stidham just throws the ball away and doesn't do the one,
the sack, man.
Sure, the one catastrophic thing. So that's why, to me, in the moment, history will not remember it. To the victor goes the spoils. But in the moment, that was more about the Broncos' loss.
I think the bigger story is the Patriots win just because of their history, their franchise, and the quick rebuild. And now all of a sudden you're back in the Super Bowl with another great quarterback. But I think we kind of got 2 questions here. I think Denver lost that game more than the Patriots won it because you just showed it. I mean, that Stidham mistake was the game, essentially. And then Sean Payton not going for it. So I think they definitely, and that's why they're so crestfallen, because they feel like we gave them this game. Okay. Our backup quarterback gave them this game.
You want to say something?
No, you can go.
I understand everything you guys are saying.
Oh, yes, you're going to be on my side. Sorry.
Not really.
Here's where I'm going to be. Mike Vrabel outcoached Sean Payton yesterday.
Correct.
Yeah, he did.
Mike Vrabel impressed upon his quarterback, and it ended up being correctly, but it seems like he impressed upon him. The only thing you can't do is make a mistake.
Yep.
And Drake Maye was like, well, watch this first pass. And once he got once Ibaka didn't
also,
catch
can
that.
I take you a step further?
Yeah.
Some of those passes, I felt like Drake was going for completion.
Yes.
Or it's because
uncatchable.
Uncatchable.
I know.
But interceptions off the
KW,
board.
I agree with
Love
that.
it.
Yeah, but you can't. I mean, you're
I prefer the
you're
completion.
honking his completion percentage all year. I'm telling you, and you don't care about the sack numbers or the fumbles. I'm telling you, there's a cost to it, and I think you saw it in this game a bit. He played a very cautious game. I think his coach told him to. Sean Payton all week. Fans, be ready in 2 weeks. You know, be rested by then. Stiddy is our guy. Everybody believes in him. And there's a good side to that, which is early in the game. Stiddy's like, man, watch me uncork this.
Pretty good.
There's a bad side to that, which is late in the game. He's running backwards, so they're thinking he's Caleb Williams, and he fumbles the ball. Late in the game, at the very end, they were down 3 with 2:10 left. Going with the wind in Mile High. And Lutz, I don't think it's fair to say, was bad. I know he missed the kicks, but one got blocked. Right. And he just chucks it up. So Mike Vrabel made sure his team didn't make the catastrophic mistake. And Sean Payton, who told us all year this team was going to the Super Bowl and told us going into it that, they'd be back in 2 weeks, they just lost a home AFC championship.
You picked him.
I did pick them. They did cover.
They did cover.
They did cover.
Oh, you won that? Good.
They got the win.
I'm glad.
How'd Parkins' picks do?
1-1, but
that's okay.
I won the
How'd no
playoffs.
upsets do? 2-0, baby.
That's right. I asked Nick how many
Super
points
Bowl
this was.
preview with Willie Colon and Greg Jennings.
Greg Jennings is here.
He made it. Excellent.
Wow.
Thanks for hanging out on the OT. We got Greg Jennings and Willie Colon out here, and we go to Santa Clara. First ones to do it. The Super Bowl matchup has been set. Drake Maye for the Patriots, Sam Darnold for the Seahawks. Seahawks open as a 3.5-point favorite in this Super Bowl rematch from years ago. Now up to 4.5 for Seattle. A lot of interesting storylines in this one. Willie, I will start with you. What are your initial thoughts of the Super Bowl matchup?
It's going to be a good one. To me, it's about defense and timing. The New England Patriots right now, their defense continues to be the face of that team and the backbone of that outfit. And they have allowed 26 points through 3 games in the playoffs. And you talk about, as far as the Seahawks, man, I think their offense is just peaking at the right time right now between Sam Darnold and JSN. The run game, I thought it was going to take a hit because of Charbonnet's injury, but it didn't. I thought the offensive line is playing really well. So I think altogether, it's going to be a gritty game, nevertheless, man. And I expect the Seahawks to win because I think they're just a more complete team, offensively, defensively, and special teams-wise. I thought Rashid Shaheed, man, ever since he's landed on that team, he's been an instant spark for the Seahawks. But overall, man, it's going to be a gritty game.
What about you, Greg?
So for me, watching that game, it's the quarterback play is going to speak volumes. As it pertains to Drake Maye, he's going to be under duress. He's been under the pressure like this entire playoff run, and some games he didn't handle it great. We saw yesterday how he handled it. He tucked it and run. Maybe that was the weather that forced him to do that. Still great decisions, didn't turn the ball over like he had been in those previous games. And then Sam Darnold, the same thing, didn't turn the ball over, got pressured, dealt with it, and had one of his best games in the brightest moment. And so quarterback play is going to be at a premium because both of these defenses are really good. And to Willie's point, this New England defense has completely turned.
They're playing their best football.
They're playing clearly their best football. And I don't want to gloss over what the Seattle Seahawks did or didn't do because they've struggled with that Rams offense all season long. That Rams offense, with the exception of the first. No, they struggled in that game too.
Yeah.
The Rams have been the only team that's really been able to just move the ball. We saw Baker do it early in the season, but I'm not concerned about that defense. It's going to be the quarterback who's making the right decisions, not turning the ball over, and taking advantage of every possession that you get.
Also, as we begin to look ahead, just want to look back to the start of the year. This matchup is crazy. Like in terms of like recent Super Bowl history, we've been tracking the odds for these things since the early 70s. This is one of the least likely Super Bowls ever. In terms of before the year, both teams were 30-1 long shots or more. Like when the Rams made it in '99 against the Titans, they were the longest long shot at 150-1, but the Titans were a mere 30-1. An 80-1 and a 60-1 matching up in the Super Bowl is crazy. And the league loves to sell parity, and anybody can go worst to first, and anybody going into a season, no matter how dim your prospects are, has a shot. These two teams this year is a perfect encapsulation that is actually true.
Well, I don't think that's wrong considering how we viewed the Patriots. I mean, they were 4-13 last year. They just got their first. I mean, they got Mike Vrabel joins the squad, and everybody doesn't really know about Drake Maye. You know, they have no big name guys on defense outside of Christian Gonzalez. So it doesn't seem like that the Pats are here. Like they are definitely ahead of schedule because of Drake Maye and his defense. And listen, Mike Vrabel, he coached his tail off this season, man. I don't think he gets enough credit how good he was in big situations throughout this season. So credit to the Pats, man. They're going to the Super Bowl.
And the same can be said about Mike McDonald. Like, he's been a heck of a coach since getting the head coach gig, understanding who they were. They established their identity. We're going to be all about defense, and we're going to be physical. We're going to run the football. They acquired Sam Darnold, gave him the deal that the Vikings were unwilling to give them, and it worked out. They knew we just need a quarterback. They allowed DK to go because they knew what they had in JSN. Like these general managers and head coaches understood the assignment, and they have delivered for these franchises. And oddly, they both probably are going to be around for a minute.
Oh, yeah.
The Patriots for sure.
Oh, the team, yeah.
The team, as far as being competitive and being contenders.
Well, listen, if you're a well-run organization and you have your coach and your quarterback, so you feel like you have the big three, right? You have your front office, your head coach, and your quarterback. You should have some staying power there. And I think Seattle's been the best team all year.
Yeah, but I think you could arguably say Mike McDonald has had the harder task of delivering, considering that he was forced to, one, reignite a culture, two, beat Sean McVay and Kyle Shanahan. On top of that, now he's one game away from winning a Super Bowl. He's had the harder journey thus far.
Yeah, we'll be talking about it for the next 2 weeks. Going to be a great game as always. We have some unique insight out here to weigh in on the coaching carousel. The Steelers got their guy, the oldest head coach in the history of the franchise on day one. Mike McCarthy is the new head coach of the Pittsburgh Steelers. Sorry, Willie. There will be a formal introductory press conference tomorrow. This is obviously Willie's Steelers, but Greg, you played for Mike McCarthy. I have long established strong thoughts on Mike McCarthy, but I will let the experts go first here. Greg, how should Steelers fans and Willie feel about the hire of your ex-coach, Mike McCarthy?
Well, so here's the deal. Obviously, it's a safe hire. We know who Mike McCarthy is. He's a good coach. He's a really good coach. He's going to win games. We know he's going to win in a regular season. He's had an opportunity to win a Super Bowl. He's done that. Recent years, he's struggled in the postseason, but he's been able to develop quarterbacks. What I will say is this, in my opinion, was a Steelers organization that understood, okay, the history of who he is, him being a Pittsburgh native, knowing what they stand for and believing that and selling that in his interview, but also having an opportunity to still acquire somebody that you said you thought was coming back before this hire was even made, and that's Aaron Rodgers.
Both of you guys laughed at me, so
like I did. I legitimately laughed at you, but now
still think it's
because
ridiculous.
You won't be able to have your quarterback, obviously there's guys out there that we feel like you could make a splash with and possibly see what he can turn into or that offense can look like without getting Aaron Rodgers. But now if you wanted Aaron Rodgers, you have a legitimate shot of him potentially coming back because of the familiarity and the relationship that's already established there.
Yeah, listen, the Steelers don't chase trends, and I've been saying that all along. They do things according to what they feel is best for the organization and the guys on that roster. I agree with Greg. This is a conservative hire, but nevertheless, man, you know, Mike McCarthy, his superpower is developing quarterbacks. They have a quarterback in Will Howard and Mason Rudolph that they need to get going. They need to figure out what they have in these gentlemen. And nevertheless, man, you also got to understand this, too. Mike McCarthy is the adult in the room. He's ran the operation. We know what his resume looks like. Super Bowl wins, double-digit regular season wins. He wins football games. Whether you like it or not, man.
And clearly Danny's acting like
I'm sorry. It's like I don't understand why do you hate it so bad. They want stability. They value development. And this is why they're moving forward with Mike
If they
McCarthy.
hired him to develop Will Howard and Mason Rudolph, they are going to be very disappointed because Will Howard and Mason Rudolph are not prime Aaron Rodgers or Dak Prescott. They're just not.
This is true.
They're just not. And if you do this to have a high floor, I don't really get it because that's what Mike Tomlin gave you. And like that stability, there is value in stability. But this is Mike Tomlin left. The Steelers wanted him back. You have an old roster. You have an expensive roster. You have a defensive dominant roster. It felt like a pretty good time to hit the reset button and get younger and take a step back so that in the 2027 draft class, which is apparently littered with quarterbacks, you could be in a prime position. Like, what's the value in going 9-8 next year and missing out on those quarterbacks? I don't get it.
You're comfortable with a rebuild when you have a young quarterback in place, a la Trevor Lawrence or Caleb Williams. They don't have that. So you need somebody right now who can, with what you have, steady the waters. They're not going to get a fresh-faced young head coach to go through. Art Rooney is damn near 80-something years old. He won't survive. He won't be around when his team really hits the mountaintop.
I will argue to support you, Danny.
Don't support him.
No, I am, because I feel two ways about this. And my brother's a Steelers fan, and he was very disappointed. Very disappointed because if you don't have a quarterback, your fan base would be willing to accept like a below or a basement type season. With Mike McCarthy, he's coming in there already believing, look, we're gonna compete.
But Greg, rightfully so, they won the division last year.
I understand that, but all I'm saying is
arguably the best head coach in the division.
All I'm arguing is if you don't have the quarterback, then if you get a younger coach, the fan base would have a level of tolerance to where it's like, okay, let's rebuild this thing. We have an appetite for that. With Mike McCarthy, the appetite isn't going to be tolerable to a rebuild, and it's not going to be tolerable to anything that looks similar or give any type of resemblance to Mike Tomlin.
You know the ultimate deodorant is winning football games.
For sure.
That's what it is. That's what it's about, winning football games.
They should win around 9 football games next
year. See you in the playoffs.
we say this every year.
And see you out in the wild card round. Matt Stafford addressed his future. Kind of. Next. Let's play a little game of He Said, We Said.
Who the hell is that?
Well, that's Sean Payton, Drake Maye, and Matt Stafford on the He Said side, and
I like it.
We'll figure it out on the We Said
I like
side.
it.
I actually think I look handsome. My blue eyes are radiant, just like in real life.
Like Steve Harvey.
Thank you. First up, we hear from Matthew Stafford on his future.
Can't generalize, 6 months of my life, 10 minutes after a loss. So appreciate the guys in this locker room a whole hell of a lot. Everybody that helped me, and helped our team be as successful as we were this year. And that's all I'll answer for you.
So I understand why people are asking him about his future, and Sean McVay got a little snippy. And it's a legitimate question. You're 38 years old. You considered retirement last year and all that. He's coming back. Like he made it to the NFC Championship game. He's going to win MVP. He led the league in passing. He led the league in touchdowns by a considerable margin. And I don't know how much this matters to him, but it would certainly matter to me. He's 1,700 yards and change from passing Aaron Rodgers to be 5th all time.
Oh, well.
In passing yards. If he plays 2 more years, has like 7,500 more passing yards, he would pass Brett Favre and Peyton Manning and finish 3rd all time in passing behind Brady and Breeze. I'd keep playing if I was Matt Stafford, if I'm at the peak of my powers like he was this year.
Yeah, I think, listen, the bottom line, his stats and tape don't lie. He played at an extremely high level. I think what's going to help him, not that he needs it, but if there was a notch to say to bring him back, it's the fact that he was only sacked 23 times this year, right? His offensive line kept him upright. He didn't crawl into the playoffs. We didn't see him peel himself off the turf like we saw Herbert this year. Nevertheless, I can see the Rams being in the same position next year in the NFC Championship, doing the same thing, competing against the Seahawks. So for him, I understand not making a declaration, but I'm with you, DP. He'll be back.
Yeah, I think he'll be back, but it's always challenging to ask a player that question. And I get it. You're a reporter. You got to ask that question because typically, like Nick Benito, you want the emotional reaction. You want that guy. You want that soundbite.
And even no answer is an answer.
Correct.
Players are not going to like it, but reporters have to do it. It's just the name of the game.
But there's a level of we tend to lock in grief in lockstep with like death. But like any type of a loss like this in sport, there's a grieving process that takes place. And so right now, we saw Davante Adams as well, and he couldn't even form words. He's on autopilot. So he's just giving a response.
Yeah.
He wants to play, but he's not thinking about the offseason right now because
shell-shocked.
You just lost from possibly getting your second chance at winning a Super Bowl. It's a lot to take in. But he had a heck of a year. Like, the one thing I will say, I don't think that they could be the same type of high-powered offense with both of those receivers. Davante doing what he did this year, it was good. I don't know if that's sustainable moving forward, where he can have that same level of production.
Well, McVay, Stafford, Davante, Puka, it's a pretty high floor for an offense.
It is.
You're going to be good.
It is. But I'm all about the separation. Davante is starting to look a little different. Is he a great player? Absolutely. He proved that this year. He still can get open. He still can be an impact player. But moving forward, I just feel like you need something else. You need a third option. We saw that fourth down play.
Let's hear from Drake Maye, the other quarterback who lost on Championship Sunday. That's up next on He Said, We Said. What do we got?
Going to the Super Bowl, that sounds pretty good. That sounds pretty cool. So just proud of this team, proud of the defense. We didn't play our best ball in the first half, and the second half came out and just battling the elements, snow and the elements. And it was a gritty win, and our defense, they stepped up. It was fun to watch.
This is one of those games where history, we'll look at it from 10 years, and wow, Drake Maye only had less than 100 passing yards in an AFC Championship game. That's weird. But you had to great pass rush on the other side. They were trying to get it out quick. The elements got crazy as the game went on. And the other thing is, it doesn't really matter. As long in the playoffs, you win, right?
Get it done.
Like Ben Roethlisberger in his Super Bowl win, his first one.
Yeah. 2
interceptions, no touchdowns, completed less than 50% of his passes. But he's a champion.
He won.
Tom Brady, his first Super Bowl run, 1 touchdown pass in the 3 games. But it counts as one of his 7. So we're not going to. History is not really going to remember the details for Drake Maye. They're just going to say, at 23 years old, he got to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, look, I actually like the way he continued to play. Obviously, the elements changed the dynamic of throwing the football. He was the quarterback that probably had the stronger arm and to get through the elements. However, he also was the quarterback that could use his legs. And that's what he put on display for me. He didn't turn the ball over like he had done in the previous 2 games and matchups because of the pass rush and them getting to him and sacking him. They did sack him. He didn't put the ball on the ground. He protected the football. He did exactly what he needed to do to allow his defense to end up winning that game.
Yeah, you need a run game and a defense to pop off the tape this time of year, and that's exactly what the Patriots did. I thought the Patriots defense put on a masterpiece. You're talking about sacking Stidham 3 times, 2 takeaways, a blocked field goal. I mean, they pretty much shut him down the second half of the game, and I think it was obvious. Vrabel told Drake Maye, don't turn over the ball. This game is a wrap. And he, listen, him calling his shot at the end of that game for that first down to seal it, that just shows the kid he's clearly dialed in. He went for it. So I'm happy for the past man. It's going to be an interesting one, but hopefully it's a good Super Bowl. That's all I care about.
And I'll say this, and we're as guilty of it as anybody, we talk about the quarterbacks a lot.
Yeah.
But I always say, this isn't the NBA. It's not one superstar just about, that is the Broncos defense, huge piece of that game. Patriots defense, huge piece. Coaching, special teams. Football is the ultimate team game. Quarterback matters more than anyone else individually, but a great quarterback can be on the losing team if the other team is better. Drake Maye, fewest passing yards for a starting quarterback who has won 3 games en route to a Super Bowl. Trent Dilfer. Jalen Hurts, and Drake Maye. But Jalen Hurts and Trent Dilfer?
Super Bowl champions.
And so I'm not saying that Drake Maye will have the career of Trent Dilfer. I think Drake Maye is going to be a star in this league for a long time. But it's very common for a quarterback, especially early, to be carried by coaching in defense to winning in the postseason.
Yeah, and
it's totally common.
This also feels slightly different for Drake Maye because of what we saw the entire duration of the regular season. Like, he wasn't carried by this defense. He wasn't carried.
No, he was absolutely amazing, but they also played an easy schedule.
They did.
And they started off 1-2, by the way.
Right, and then they played hard defenses in the playoffs, and they've been carried now by their defense.
But I think the exposure and the experience that you garner from all of those games led to him not making those boneheaded decisions, dropping back, losing the ball, not throwing the ball away, different things like that.
All right, coming up, these two gentlemen have both been in a locker room that won a game to go to the Super Bowl. Shockingly, I have not, but we're going to do some vibe tests coming up.
Said no curfew tonight, but the bus leaving at 8 in the morning, so if you ain't on it, you ain't playing in the bowl, so I'm pretty sure everybody going to be on that bus.
Did he say that?
Oh, yeah. I ain't playing, he said that.
Milton Williams. Do you believe him? No curfew, but you got to make the bus if you want to play in the Super Bowl?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You're still locked in. Like,
you're telling me Drake Maye shows up at 8:15, he's not playing in the Super Bowl? I don't buy it.
He won't show up at 8:15.
Okay.
He'll be on that bus before 8 o'clock.
He'll be on the bus on
as
time.
will everybody else.
Yeah, I think the boys went out and partied. They probably tore up the hotel bar and got a little cloudy up there. But nevertheless, man, yeah, I mean, you still understand there's a Super Bowl you have to play. You got to get home.
Yes.
You don't want that over your head.
You haven't done it yet.
Yeah, but you won, good. Now go all the way and finish the job, man. So I'm not.
The game is not for 13 days. It could be longer than the bus could have left at noon. Is all I'm saying. Let him sleep in.
I've been on a team where guys been left. And when that guy arrives, I've always made it. But my point is, even with the Wild Night, my point is, with all that said, you don't want to be the guy that gets left. Because now going into this week, you're all they talk about. The distraction is, you don't want that.
They're like, where's Diggs? Diggs didn't make the bus.
Why you got to say Diggs?
It's just a guess.
All them
It's just a guess.
See? Hate it.